Phil can just hang on a second. I know we got let you get in there. I'm trying not to rip anything out. Here.
Hey there, sports fans. When I played high school basketball in Cleveland, then in the Big Ten and the NBA, I found out that it takes more than outstanding coaches and athletes to make a sports event great. I'm Garth Kellogg, reminding you that everyone is here for the same
Get
reason.
the microphone
Sports
down,
is team and
or
team
the
with
way we
everything
can cut
you
it.
got. As a matter of fact, your passion and spirit is a big part.
All right, we're live.
That's why it really matters that all of us follow the rules and act responsibly. Treat our team and the planet with equal respect. On behalf of the Ohio High School Athletic Association and Waste Management, let's all do what it takes to make today's content great. Security!
Clinton-Massie football history. Here's Tony. We are here with former head coach Tony Lampkin. We're going to talk a little bit today about Clinton-Massie football. Tony, how in the world did Clinton-Massie, little country school, get started with football out there?
Well, it was a miracle. Actually, Walter Nichols called me and wanted me to go up and talk to Blanchester about their head job. I did. Things did not work out there. I won't get into the details because they're a little bit rough. But he called me back very upset that I didn't get that job. It had to do with religion.
Mm-hmm.
The second offer was with Clinton-Massie, and I said I never heard of them. I was in Milford.
Okay.
And I didn't even know there was a place called Clinton-Massie. They said there was a ice cream social on Saturday night. Come up and meet Don Hyatt.
Another barbecue.
Came over that hill on George Road and saw that brand new building. Awestruck. I mean, it just really impressed me. Not only that, after I got to know Paul Slumberger, he took me in the locker room and showed me 40 brand new football uniforms. Now you got to think here a minute. There was no football team there, but the uniforms were there. And I thought, these people really want football. Well, it was kind of a mistake because Frank Ireland, who was my assistant coach for 10 years down there, had two boys, and he wanted them to play football, so he bought them. He paid for them. And the football was kind of ho-hum, we'll see what happens. And so that's basically how we got started. I remember laying out the football field. You could still see where soybeans had been planted. It was a little rough. But the point is we got it going, and we were fortunate. Frank had a scout troop. That scout troop, they were aggressive, strong, tough kids. Now, when I say tough, I don't mean they weren't smart, because they were all very smart. But they would go to these scout aramas, or whatever you call it, just to win contests, to build the biggest bridge, climb the ropes. They were athletes. And those boys came in there, and Frank had talked so much football to them that they pretty well knew the game, but they'd never been in a football uniform before. So that's basically how we got going. We won our first 6 games. We lost a heartbreaker to Blanchester, the only time I ever lost to Blanchester in 10 years.
Yeah.
And that was when they sprung the cider barrel at us. I didn't know anything about it. Evidently the superintendents talked, and they had this barrel. When I got off the school bus over there, they're waving it up and down. I have no idea what it is.
No idea.
Yeah, it was just a shock. We lost it, I think, 12-8 in the fourth quarter, and I made up my mind that I wasn't going to lose to them again. But that's basically how we got started. The second year was kind of ho-hum. The third year, fourth year we won the FABC. I always thought of it. Everybody thought, and I don't mean this maybe the way it sounds, but everybody thought with 4 schools coming together, good basketball schools,
Right.
that basketball would be the sport.
Right.
Well, we had a championship in 3 years.
Pretty good.
And that's not bad. Yeah, and I've always been proud of that. We went down and played Mason that year in 1967. They had not been beaten in the Fort Ancient Valley. We beat them 30-6.
Fantastic.
And they were obviously a little bit concerned.
Yes.
This little farm school up there. So we took them in a rainstorm that night. I remember Tom Lichtenberg, who by the way just passed away a short time ago. Tom, he had brand new white uniforms, and it was muddy. And he warmed up in the gym. And when they came out with those brand new white uniforms, I got the team together and I said, I don't want to see a white uniform on that field after the fourth quarter. We tore them to them like a biting sow. We really went after them. I mean, we really went after them. Beat them 30-6 in just a knockdown drag out. So that was when I figured out I've got a pretty good football team here.
Yeah.
And we went on and won the league. I remember the reporter from the Western Star in Warren County come over and he said, you guys shouldn't beat Mason and Little Mike. I said, no, we did, and we will.
Yeah.
That's basically how.
Right.
That was the start, really.
Talk about some of those early players too.
Well,
you had some.
Johnny Cleaver was a quarterback, and John was a steady, good quarterback. Dickie Wilkinson was a good running back. Rick Reed was a good running back. Jim Starr was a good running back. They were all nice, hefty kids. Rick was only about 140 pounds, but he was strong. And then I had a center by the name of Larry Bilderback, big boy. I'm going to say maybe 180, 85 pounds. Jerry Dollar might have been 200. Frank's son was playing the left guard. Dave Hackney was a tackle. Mike Boffman was a tackle. Norm Towson was an end. These were good athletes, but I didn't have a lot of them because from that point on, and remember when we won the championship in '67, there was only about 3 or 4 freshmen. That was but Jimmy Davis happened to be one of those freshmen, and he was tough. He was one tough football player. Good, hard runner, fastest kid I ever saw. Yeah, but that's basically how we got going, and those were some of the stars on that team. We lost in '66. We had a little mutiny. We had a bunch of kids decide they were going to play basketball, and I was really thinking, this is it, we're down. And we were 4-4, and we went down to play Hillsborough, and Bill Atzalis had been the coach. He had a good ball club. Remember, he beat Wilmington in the final game and took them out of a championship, that Okie Waddell's team. But anyway, we went down and we beat them 8-0 in a real ball game. And that was the jump start to the 1967 championship.
Okay.
We knew how to win against good teams. They were tough. They were big boys and tough. Yeah.
There has been quite a legacy at Clinton-Massie has been built over the years of quality, top-notch teams.
I think back, the biggest kid I've ever had in 10 years might have been 215, 220. I don't know what his line weighs this year, but 2 years ago, I remember their line averaged 285. Now, you're talking about a small high school with some big, strong kids.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're eating. I know they do a lot of weightlifting. Weightlifting was just beginning to generate some steam back in the 60s, and we didn't do a lot of it, didn't have any place to lift weights, didn't have any weights. In fact, I went 8 years without a 7-man sled, and I remember Lichtenberger, one of those coaches, said, how do you teach blocking without a 7-man sled? I said, I just use human dummies. They move. The sled does not move. It's stationary. My dummies move.
Yeah.
That's how I learned to block.
How many years were you in coaching at Clinton-Massie?
I was there 10 years, 64 to 74. We had 3 championships. We won in '67, and I lost 7 all-league players off that team. And it kind of reminds me of what they're doing this year in the state tournament. I lost 7 players and began to use that term rebuilding year like coaches do.
Right.
Well, the seniors I had said, we'll have none of that rebuilding. We beat Mason 6-0. We beat Springboro, who was supposed to win the league. This is 1968 now. We beat Springboro 3-0 on a 4th quarter field goal. And we just rolled and we won 2 back-to-back championship. And that's what I hope Clinton-Massie does in this tournament. I hope the seniors take charge, and there's some good ones down there. And you lost 17. I think you've got about 20 seniors out there this year.
Yeah.
But I hope they take charge and just roll right through this tournament like they did last year. It will be tough. Kettering Alder, McNicholas, those are good. Those are good football teams.
Right.
Valley View has a legacy also. They've won a lot of football championships. But it would be nice if they could do it again. You know, that's probably the hardest thing to do in sports is to repeat.
Absolutely.
Especially when you graduate so many kids.
Right.
And you know. It's just almost one of those impossible things, but it isn't totally impossible. Maybe improbable, but not impossible.
Right. And Clinton-Massie has had such a run in playoffs, 12 straight years in the playoffs.
Well,
that's remarkable.
Yeah, you know, I felt pretty good for years because my teams held all the records. Those records went down the tube with Dan McShirley's teams. I mean, he has taken I had one record up to last year, I think Gary Peters ran a 99-yard touchdown, and I thought at least I've got one record. The running boy, first name escaping. Anyway, he went 99 point some yards against one of those teams last year, and there went that record. I don't think there's any of our records left on and that's good. I'm glad because Dan McShirley and his staff and the teams out there have done a fabulous job. I mean, you know, the last umpteen years, and I can't even keep track of them anymore. They have just dominated the South Central League since they've come. I don't think anybody else has won a South Central, and I think we shared one year. But we just run over that league, and that's not, you know. And I don't want to condemn the league because everything changes. You know, we got Wilmington's going to be in there. Chillicothe is a competitor now. I even look for teams like East Clinton and Hillsborough who are down now to come back and be competitive. You know, nothing is forever, and sometimes one of these days, those teams are going to be in there. And it's going to be a good league. I hope it lasts for a long time.
Yeah. Of course, over the years, South Central Ohio League has had a big reputation with teams like Massey and Courthouse and Wilmington, but now Clinton-Massie seems to be the dominant force.
We are at the present. I hope it lasts. But you know, I remember saying something like one time about it's night when Kings was our dog, beat up dog down there when we played in that Fort Inch, and I said one time how I hope the Kings would get stronger because it makes for a better league. And I remember a particular coach just jumped all over me. They said, "Why?" He said, "We don't want anybody being strong. We want to win." I said, "Well, you know, you can look at it that way, but the league is the league, and you want a good, strong league." And, and of course, you know, if you go back in the history, and I've written a lot of articles about these teams, there have been some great Greenfield teams. There have been some great Hillsborough teams. There have been some great teams all over this league.
Right.
And it's a strong league, and it's going to get, I think, better balance as time goes on.
More competitive the league is, the better it looks for everybody.
Well, it's a lot easier to beat teams like that are better than you when you're thinking about state playoffs. I mean, let's face it, you don't get very far when you beat a team in a lower division. I mean, you've got to beat the good teams, unless you're beating a team that's beat bigger teams. It's a strange mixture of how it works, but it works, I guess. Everybody seems to like it. I've never been a big fan of the state tournament, and I think it's more that the kids have to play so much longer. You know, we played 15 football games last year. Man, that's a lot of football for a high school boy. But it's the thrill of the act, and we've been in the middle of it. And we've got a big game with Trace again. We beat the daylights out of Trace in that first encounter, 40-something to 7, I think.
And didn't have Bailey Wolf. He'll be back, I think, this week, unless something has happened that I don't know about. I am still a part of I won't say I'm a part of the coaching staff. They refer to me as a consultant. Okay. That makes it sound even better, doesn't it?
It sounds important, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure.
But I remember I went down to watch him practice, and Coach come running over when McShirley runs. The way he was running towards me, he's got something on his mind. He asked me if I wanted to help him coach, and I said, I really got other things. You know, when you get to my age, you know, you got a lot of things you want to get done.
Right.
So I'm thinking, not really, but then I thought about it. I went out and met some of the kids, and I said, I'll tell you what, I'll just be a consultant. I'll come out, pick out. They said, that's great, just do that. So I go out a couple times a week, and you know, try to pick out things that I think they can improve on and so forth. And I enjoy it. You can't help. This bunch of kids out there now are just absolutely the best. I don't know if I've ever been around, and they started out, he had 85. I don't know if it's still the number, but I don't know if I've ever been around a group of youngsters that are as enthusiastic, polite, just really great boys. I just enjoy jiving with them. They're talking back and forth. So it's a good program. It's a solid program. We got a lot of things going.
All right. Well, thank you very much. You'll always be coached of most everybody that's ever met you, so we appreciate you, Tony. And Tony Lampke has been our guest here on the pregame show, and we'll be ready for Clinton-Massie hosting first round playoff with Miami Trace in just a few moments. We're here
and we are here at Clinton-Massie at Ireland Field, and our pregame show is brought to you by
Bill Marine Ford, Lincoln Mercury and Chrysler, 1182 West Main, serving Wilmington, Ohio for 53 years. Their phone number is 937-382-3858. Bill Marine has great model year-end closeout savings on all 2013s to make room for the 2014s. Tony Lampy, and Tony, we're going to do keys to the game, and let's, of course, everybody likes offense, so let's start off with offense on both teams. What does Massey have to do to score better against Clinton-Massie?
Well, the first game we played them, we ran the ball very well, and Chase Wolf, Bailey's brother, had a 200-yard game, and he just really picked them up and laid them down. We have to be able to run the ball against them, and we were able to do that. I don't know why we wouldn't be able to do that again. And we passed very well. I think, if I remember, our quarterback was 10 for 12. So our running game set up our passing game, and the combination, of course, led to a nice score. I think we beat them 43-7 or something like that. We must be able to run the game. That's run the ball, and I think we can against them. They're a good defensive team, but I think our offensive line is a little stronger than theirs. At least that's my opinion. And we were able to move the ball. That's number one. We have to run the ball. That makes our passing great.
What does Miami Trace have to do to get around the Clinton-Massie defense?
Well, they're a spread offense. They must be able to pass. They were not able to pass. Our defensive backs and our defensive line getting to the quarterback stopped them. The quarterback was pretty much gun shy by the second half. I mean, our kids were all over him. So they've got to be able, I think, to pass the ball. They're not a strong running team. At least I don't think they are. Now, you know, you say that, and then they'll come back and somebody will get 300 yards again. But from my experience after that first game, they got to throw the ball and they got to complete the passes. That's the key to their game, I think.
What are the strengths of the Clinton-Massie defense? I know they have quite a few, but they seem to be able to stop about anybody.
I was going to say all 11 defenders. They're very, very strong. They're very quick. This is probably one of the fastest teams he's ever had out there. The linebacker core is strong, and they've got 3 or 4 kids they can roll in and out there. The defensive backs are very good. The line, I think, is very quick, and we do send our linebackers through there from time to time. And we will probably Friday night because that's what hurt them the last time. We got to put pressure on that quarterback. He's got a good arm. He overthrew a lot of passes, and I think if he gets hot and completes passes against us, our defense will have our hands full. But we just have to play a solid defensive game and be ready for anything. I have a feeling this time they'll put a few gimmicks in. You know, it's about the only way I think they can really move the ball on us is to have something that we don't expect. They've been working a couple of weeks, I'm sure, on things that they think. We don't have a weak spot. I don't see any weak spot on our defense, so they're going to have to beat us over the defense.
Well, I think Clinton-Massie might have a couple of extra tricks in the playbook too.
Yeah, our offensive coach, Jeski Zantini, he really is a good football mind. He comes up with 1 or 2 new gimmicks every game. Although, you know, we're a ground team, and that's McShirley's claim to fame, and we will always be an off tackle. We do run outside pretty well. We run a power pitch, and we run the option. We got a sophomore quarterback, and he has a great arm, but he's a little bit hesitant on the option. It doesn't work like it's going to work in the next couple of years. I'll tell you that. You watch this guy. Yeah. This Hunter he's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, as you say, he's only a sophomore, and his arm is pretty doggone good for a sophomore quarterback.
That's exactly right. He lays that ball out there, and when he needs to snap it, he can fire it in there within 15, 20. He's just got a good arm, and he runs pretty well. But he's young. I always noticed when a kid came back after his sophomore year to his junior year, that's spurt year. I always called it a spurt year. They grow a few inches, they put on a few weight, but the biggest thing is they're mentally more ready for the game. And I think this kid, as in junior, senior year, is going to be something else. I mean, I think he's maybe one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best we've ever had at Clinton-Massie.
Special teams, how big a part will special teams possibly play in this game?
We work on it down there every day. Our kickoff and receiving team are strong. We do a lot of different things. I think we've got a very good kickoff receiving team. Our punter, Zantora, kicks that ball 50 yards easy. I mean, and he puts it out there. The biggest problem is we don't punt very often.
Right.
Now we may have to this week. I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth. It's a change speed here, but you never know. We beat them bad the first time. You just never know. Football is a strange, and if it wasn't that way, it wouldn't be much fun watching it, would it? I mean, you got to have that team come back once in a while. We don't want Trace to come back this week.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to. Sometimes it's hard to beat somebody 2 out of 3 weeks, but it's a very good possibility.
Well, that you're right. It's tough to beat a team twice in a row, let alone. That's in the back of my mind. But I watch both teams play. I watch them play each other. One of the things that and I don't want to stretch this out, but one of the things that I always tell the coaches, anybody that comes to our house down there is scared. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's look at what we've done at Clinton-Massie. Right. I say we. I shouldn't put myself in it, but when you come out to play us, you're already thinking, wow, these guys are tough. Yeah. And I tell Coach McSherrill, when you talk to them before the game, you tell them that. And then as a team, make believers out of them on that first play. Stick them right in the nose right away. Go after them. Yeah. So, we have that advantage. I mean, they know how bad they were hit that first time. Right. And that sits right up on top of their right inside that helmet. They know this guy across from me can put it to me. So we have a big advantage there, I think. That's my opinion.
Well, psychology of the game is very important.
More than you'll ever know. I mean, I've used all kinds of gimmicks in football. I used to tell that reporter from the Western Star how scared I was of Mason, how scared I was of Little Miami, and then we get down and just beat the daylights out of them. Yeah. So when you've got those teams worried about you, they're not, they get relaxed, laid back, and then you pop them. It makes believers out of them. Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Coach Tony Lamke of Clinton-Massie's. He'll be on the sidelines for this game coming up Friday night, tonight at Clinton-Massie at Ireland Field. And for the pregame show on gtvr.net, I'm...
And welcome back to the pregame show. I'm Lee Hendee once again, and our pregame show is brought to you by Bill Marine Ford, Lincoln Mercury Chrysler, 1182 West Main Street, serving Wilmington for 53 years. You can call them at 937-382-3858. Bill Marine has great model year-end closeout savings on all 2013s to make room for the 2014s. And savings up to $6,000. 0% financing on most new Fords, Lincolns, Mercurys, and Dodges. Leasing on 100% of new cars and also on some late model used cars as well. Great used cars at both locations for any budget. Financing is available. Service department is open late on Tuesdays with oil change, tire rotation, and more. That's Bill Marine Ford, Lincoln Mercury Chrysler, 1182 West Main Street, serving Wilmington and the surrounding area for 53 years. And now let's go back to our pregame show and my talk with Coach Dan McSherrill.
Lee Hendee.
You're listening to the Global TV Radio pregame show on www.gtvr.net. Once again, I'm Lee Hendee, and you just heard the old coach Tony Lamke with Clinton-Massie football history. Now, let's rejoin the old coach for his comments on the keys to the game.
We're here once again with the old coach, I guess you'd say, Tony Lamke. And Tony, we're going to do some very good possibility.
Well, that you're right. It's tough to beat a team twice in a row, let alone. That's in the back of my mind. But I watch both teams play.
We've had an opportunity to rest him for the past pretty much 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So, he's full strength. We're excited about having him back on the field.
What do you expect, if anything, new out of Miami Trace?
Well, it's obviously, Coach Bartlett's going to do what they do, and that's run the football first. Their quarterback has the ability to make plays with his legs, and he can also throw it. So they also have some outstanding receivers in both the Pettifords, and you're just going to have to hopefully just contain their big play opportunities.
You think they may throw in some new plays or maybe some trick plays at you that you haven't seen?
Absolutely. They have this type skill kids that you have to respect, and it's kind of interesting. We're throwing some different things in that they possibly could do. We're even actually preparing for a shotgun. That's something that we may see that they didn't do in the first game. So we'll just have to see how it plays out.
One of the things that's always key as you get into playoff games and big games, special teams can play a big part too.
Well, we've addressed that. We've put our guys. You like to play a lot of players throughout the year on special teams, but when it comes to the playoffs, you got to put your best kids on the field, and we've addressed that, and we feel good about our kicking game. Zach Santoros did a nice job punting. We've got an exchange student from Brazil that's putting the ball down there close to the end zone on the kickoffs. And then Callum Jones is on track to be one of the state's top extra point kickers in the history of the state of Ohio. So we feel real good about our kicking game.
You obviously last year you graduated several seniors. Looks like this year you'll have several seniors. All that experience can play a big part after when you get in a playoff run.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have had big time experience. A lot of the skill players, they've been here before. They kind of know what to expect. We think that could be an advantage, but at the same time we got to execute, and they're going to have to get it done.
All right. Well, Coach McShirley, we certainly thank you, and best wishes in the playoff game, and we hope to see you down the road at least 5 times before you get to that championship game.
Hey, that'd be wonderful. Thanks for having me.
All right. Coach Dan McShirley of the Clinton-Massie Falcons, and that is part of our pregame here on Global TV Radio. Thank you for joining us.
Fans, the team participating in this contest, thank you for your tremendous support throughout the season. Please
We are live here at Ireland Field in near Clarksville, Ohio. And joining me for tonight's broadcast or internet radio broadcast of this playoff game is Coach Bill Hrabak of the East Clinton Astros. And Coach, what are the keys to this particular game? And welcome, by the way.
Well, thank you, Lee. I appreciate you guys having me on tonight. And this should be an interesting game. I think that the challenges for Miami Trace will be ball control tonight.
Yes.
They're going against a Massey defense that's only given up 68 points all year. And I think with that being said, the pressure will fall upon the Miami Trace quarterback, Jimmy Stroker. If Stroker has success balancing the offense with a run and his passing abilities, they can keep this game in perspective. Defensively, they've got to control the 1,000-yard running backs, Chase and Bailey Wolf, which is going to be a tall order for any defense, but especially seeing a defense that they saw a few weeks ago and pretty much had their way. Trace is going to have to make some adjustments to control them on the line of scrimmage and prevent the big plays. As far as Massey's concerned, I would say with them, they just have to be Massey. Do what they do best, and everything will take care of itself for them.
I think both teams are going to play their kind of game. They're not going to try to jazz it up or change necessarily the good things that they do. They're going to have to play their style of football.
Yeah, I would say that the biggest mistake some teams make, we saw that happen a few years ago in a national championship game when Oregon had tremendous success all year, then came and changed everything up for the Auburn game. If you do that, there's a risk that it's going to backfire. And I think that you're exactly right that both teams will come out and do what they've done all season.
Right. Massey is, of course, except for a kind of a hiccup, I guess you'd say, at Columbus de Sales, has pretty much ran the table. They've played they played Chillicothe, beat Chillicothe, a
great game,
great team, and a great game down there. And but Massey, like you say, they'll be Massey tonight. They've got kids they've got another group of seniors that have had a lot of experience and know what it's like to make this championship run.
Right, and I think that experience, you can't discount how much that counts this year for those kids that experienced that last year. Taking that into tonight's game, the pressure's got to be on Trace. Massey's been here before. They've handled it, and we'll see how Trace handles it tonight.
But saying all that, one of the toughest things for anybody is to repeat as champions. So down the road, even if Massey wins tonight, they could find somebody that is going to give them all they can handle and maybe more.
No doubt. It's difficult to repeat in any sport as champion, and Massey's got a tall order in front of them. We don't see it happen too much even in the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Rarely do we see teams win back-to-back, and so that's going to be maybe serves as the motivation for Massey is to be able to come back and do it back-to-back years.
I think we're just about ready for kickoff. The Miami Trace Panthers will be kicking off to East Clinton, or to, I keep saying East Clinton, but Clinton-Massie. And what do you expect Clinton-Massie to do on this first series?
Well, I would expect that they'll come back and try to run their jet sweeps to the Wolf boys. Their counteraction is always something that keeps your linebackers at home, which makes it difficult to defend the sweep. And I would expect, as I said before, I think Massey's going to come out and do what they do. And that's where Trace is going to have to get a stop here and there and put them in second and third and long.
And here we go with the kickoff at the first half. And Massey has the ball, and they are coming right up the middle. And a big run, and number 14 for Clinton-Massie as he rumbles all the way up to the Miami Trace 35-yard line. And here comes Clinton-Massie right out of the gate.
Exactly. The explosive Josh Loud, he's been doing it all year like that. And here he is, the opening play of the game with a tremendous kickoff return.
Yes, and as you might expect, Clinton-Massie is down nearly at the 35-yard line, at the 36-yard line, and of Miami Trace on the first series. So, and a pitch out, I believe that.
It looks like Bailey Wolf.
Bailey Wolf, you might expect him to get the ball right off. He's been out for a period of time, but he seems to be ready to play tonight.
Yeah, I believe so. Bailey had 1,053 yards this past year, 17 touchdowns, explosive player. They tried to get outside with him, and I think that's what you're going to see most of the night.
Hunter Fentress, the quarterback for Massey, is wearing his uncle's number. Kenny Briggs, he's wearing number 17 in honor of his uncle, so a different number for Fentress. And right up the middle goes number 7, Chase Wolf. So the Wolf boys are right at work right out of the gate.
Exactly. Chase had 1,031 yards this year, and I think what I had mentioned about trying to get it outside and come back inside, flex Trace in and out, it's going to be a chore for their linebackers to control this running attack.
What looks to be on the field, Massey is just taller and bigger maybe than Miami Trace in a lot of positions too.
They're a strong football team, Lee, and a big
got,
play.
Looks like Bailey Wolf got caught in the backfield with the ball, so looks like
all-conference linebacker Travis Grooms for Trace breaks through the line and makes a tremendous play there.
Yeah, so very little, if any, gain on that play. We're back at the 31-yard line of Miami Trace right now. And Massey breaks the huddle and they haven't thrown the ball yet, and you might expect a pass at some point just
Sure.
to keep Miami Trace off balance.
I would say it makes them a threat here.
And we've got Chase Wolf going around the corner, and looks like he got a few yards on that. Not near enough for a first down, but maybe 3 yards.
It doesn't look from here as if they've got it.
Nope, they did not get the first down, I'm sure. I think that's going to be, what, third down now?
Yes. Well, no, it's that was.
Timeout for measurement.
Let's see what that
are
was
gonna
fourth.
measure
That
it.
was fourth down.
Yeah, they are going to measure it, and we'll see if this is a first down or if Massey will turn the ball over. It's going to be the officials, the side judges are bringing in the change, and this will be very interesting here if Massey would turn the ball over on downs.
Well, this is what Trace needs to do tonight if they're going to have a chance in this game.
Absolutely. They have. This should be a real.
And they
big
are
stop,
short.
and they got the stop.
Exactly. This should be a little bit of a momentum swing for Trace. Great field position off the kickoff, and Trace was able to stop him. Now Trace needs to do something on offense.
Absolutely. Reminder: our first half action is brought to you, or our game is brought to you by the Equipment Superstore and Route 73 Homes. All right, here comes Jimmy Stroker and company. The Miami Trace Panthers up to the line. Their first offensive series looks to be like the 26-yard line. And Stroker looking to throw the ball. He has a receiver out there. And, a game-saving or a score-saving tackle on the sideline. Number 4.
Cedric Pettiford for Miami Trace came in motion, ran a little flat route. They got it to him, and he was able to run it upfield for first down.
All right, that was a great hookup on that pass, and another big gain.
Little toss to the short side of the field. They pulled the tackle around, and again, like you said, Lee, a good gain. And
yeah.
First 2 plays have been impressive for Trace.
Miami Trace is really starting to get things going, and now Massey looks to make a big stop here.
Absolutely, they need to stop this momentum right now.
A handoff right up the middle, and another big gain.
Number 3, Trevor Haynes.
Another first down.
Nice run, north and south run, Lee.
Absolutely.
Not
That's
trying
what you're
to
looking to do.
Exactly, not trying to extend it to the sideline, get north and south. Against quick teams, that's what you have to do.
Right. All right. Here comes the Miami Trace Panthers back up to the line. They are at the 40-yard line of Clinton-Massie. And Stroker's back, and he's looking for somebody out there, and nearly picked off by Clinton-Massie. The pass was broken up.
That was a very dangerous throw there.
Yes.
Waited quite a while to throw that out, and Massey's corner broke on it very quickly.
Yes. It could have nearly been intercepted.
Absolutely.
And the Massey defender did get it knocked down, but could have very easily been an interception if the ball would bounce right. So let's see what Massey has in store on this down.
Second and long.
They were able to get the ball upfield real quick, and Stroker has called his own number, and he's going with a big gain.
Nice play by Stroker.
He is quick. He can get loose in a hurry if he finds a hole.
Lee, they went back to the first play they opened the game with the motion man out of the slot, and Stroker rolled out to the same side, tucked it away, and picked up a nice gain.
Yes. I've seen him do that a few times. He has definitely got some quickness to him.
Absolutely. Good athlete.
And a handoff to number 3, and another first down for the Miami Trace Panthers. Get some inside the 30-yard line, so they're definitely have some momentum after that turnover, or I guess the ball changed hands on fourth down. They have really went right down the field.
Yeah, again, Trevor Haynes gets north and south real quickly.
Yes.
Picks up the necessary yards to move the chains, and as we talked about, this is what Trace needs to do.
Absolutely. They get points on the board first. It will change the whole way that Clinton-Massie thinks about it. Going deep, and the defender and the receiver ran into each other, but there's no call on the play. And I don't know that pass was going to be caught anyhow.
The receiver really didn't have good position on that. Josh Loud from Massey just really kept good position there and didn't really give them an opportunity to make a play on that.
All right. Yeah. Up. Right up the gut again goes
Trevor Haynes again.
Trevor Haynes. They're just pounding it right up the middle when they run it. They're really asserting themselves. That offensive line of Miami Trace is really pushing Clinton-Massie off the ball.
Third.
And that's making a big difference.
It's a third and very makeable situation
I think
here.
so, yes. With the way they've been running the ball, I think it is very makeable. First penalty of the game. And it is a penalty against Miami Trace.
Those are the kind of penalties or drive killers. You go from 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 9 now.
Yes.
Changes your philosophy.
Absolutely. So what, in this situation, what do you think Miami Trace would call to try to get the first down?
You could see a draw or screen, especially if they're going to try to get an upfield rush with them. But it looks like Stroker's going to roll on that.
He's trying to run, but Clinton-Massie got him before he could really get going.
And that's Massey's trademark, get upfield pressure. And
great pursuit on that. 4th and 10. You think they're within decent field goal range here if they try the field goal?
Well, they have a nice kicker, but I think in this situation, you take a shot at it, even if you throw an interception and it doesn't go to the end zone, you probably end up with good field position on it.
Yeah. Well, Miami Trace with a timeout. That's time for us to remind you that this game is being brought to you by the Equipment Superstore in Wilmington, but you can call them at 877 Farm Parts. 877 Farm Parts. They have all of your Case IH farm and industrial equipment. They also have your lawn and garden equipment. That's the Equipment Superstore in Wilmington. 877 Farm Parts. You can go there on Progress Way, Georgetown, Ohio, or you can shop their Jeffersonville, Ohio retail outlet. The Equipment Superstore, 877 Farm Parts. And timeout's over. What do you do to try to get this 4th down, Coach?
I think we'll see him pass.
Stroker's back, and he's trying to get it down there. And wow, the receiver nearly got to that ball.
Yeah,
great leap.
Number 4, Cedric Pettiford, had a shot at making that play. That was a playable ball.
It was a big throw and nearly a great catch, but looks like Clinton-Massie is going to get the ball. So they try to, I guess, kind of return the favor to Miami Trace.
Yeah, they did. Turned it over on downs. I think the impressive thing is that Trace took 4 minutes off the clock there.
That's right. They did that very effectively with a lot of runs. And here we go. Pitch out.
Bailey
Wolf's got it, and he got kind of strung out over toward the far sidelines. I think about the 32-yard line, somewhere in that neighborhood, but he was not able to get around the corner.
No, you got to use the 12th man, your sideline, run the runners into it, and just make sure you tackle accurately, and that's a good play.
Right, and that's exactly what Miami Trace did. They just stayed with it and stayed running laterally, and the pursuit was there. All right.
2nd and about 7 here.
And handoff right up the middle. And a big run for Clinton-Massie. That was the biggest run they've had from scrimmage so far.
Yeah, and Kelson Gowden, tremendous linebacker for Massey, but as a fullback, kind of is one unnoticed, but has had some tremendous plays this year for them from the fullback position.
Absolutely. He kind of gets overshadowed by the Wolf boys, but when he gets the ball, he can be really effective.
Very much so.
We're at the 48-yard line of Clinton-Massie. That's where they have the ball, and it's a new set of downs. And a pitch out to Chase Wolf, I believe, and he gets near another first down.
And these are the kind of plays that are Massey's bread and butter.
Absolutely.
To get Chase Wolf out on the edge like that, it's a tall order for any team to contain him the whole game.
And even if they don't always get a score, these big runs with people like Gowden and the Wolf boys can pay off toward the end of the game as far as wearing the other team down a little bit.
Well, that's where Massey's line comes into play, and their strength definitely shows late in the game.
And looks like we're going to get a pass. Oh, a little overthrown. But that will make Miami Trace begin to think a little bit more about the pass, too.
Yeah, Fentress was targeting Josh Loudon, who's had a big night tonight. If he'd have come down with that, that'd have been another
Big
great
gainer.
play.
Yeah. The ball is back to the, looks like the 43-yard line of Miami Trace. So Clinton-Massie back up to the line. Fentress will be under center.
A lot of options here for him.
A lot of options, and that's a first down.
Yeah. Move the chains, and as we've talked about, Lee, Massey's doing what they do best.
They're just hammering the ball. Throw a pass once in a while, just keep the defense kind of on their toes or keep them honest. But we've got another first down. The ball is at the 38-yard line of Miami Trace as Massey is just pooching the ball upfield just a few yards at a time, 5 to 6 yards at a time, but they're just getting it done, that offensive line.
Little play action.
And looks like Fentress is going to have to take off with it. Couldn't find a receiver downfield. Good coverage by Miami Trace.
Good coverage, and Trace was able to break down the pass blocking pretty quickly, and Fentress had to tuck it away and go.
Right. So no gain, no on that pass. Looks like Coach McSorley sending the play in with Fentress, and it is now second down?
2nd and 9, and these are tough downs because you want to leave yourself with a makeable third down
Absolutely.
situation.
They need good 5 yards on this play or more. And a handoff. Chase Wolf.
A little crossbuck action to Chase Wolf.
Yeah, and he got just what they need to make them have a makeable third down here.
Absolutely. A great down here for your bootleg type of plays or rollouts for your quarterback.
You want to leave yourself with options on third down of to what you can do, and they have short yardage. And they've got the kind of backs that could get it.
Absolutely.
They've got some receivers that could get it if they decide to throw. But they're going outside with Bailey Wolf. I don't know that he got it, but it's close.
I think he's a little short there, Lee.
I think he might be, yeah.
Got to about the 30 where his knee touched, and another tough fourth down about the same area.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to are they going to try? I believe they are, because Fentress is still in the huddle. I think they're going to try it.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him come out in their wishbone formation. They had success running that crossbuck last time, and we could.
They are. They definitely got the first down.
Yeah, came out, ran the crossbuck, and it's a difficult play to defend in that situation.
is exactly what you were talking about. This is Massey football. They're just pounding it, and when they have to, they can get the ball upfield with one of the Wolf boys or the Gowden boy, and that's just power football.
Yep. And then we'll see Massey in first down. We'll split a receiver out, but remain in the wishbone there.
They're on the 27-yard line of Miami Trace, and a pitch out to Bailey Wolf again. And he is just stopped. Might not have even gotten a foot or two. He just pretty much got stopped in his tracks over there.
It seems like Trace has had Bailey's number tonight. They've been, where 15 goes, there's been a lot of white jerseys.
Yeah, and they're sealing off that outside for the most part. They're not letting Massey get outside.
Yeah, and I think if they continue to have success like that, that'll make this a ball game tonight.
Yes. This is a real key situation for Massey. They are down at the 26-yard line, I think, and see what they do. Fentress is set to throw it and throws it high and over the receiver. I think he was trying to get it to Bailey Wolf again.
Yeah, he was, Lee.
Just a little high, and it was a tough catch if he got it, but
they came out in a double slot, and they faked the jet play to Chase, and then Bailey slipped out into the flats. It was just a little bit too high for him.
Yep. All right. See what they got in mind on this. Fentress is under center again. In motion is Bailey Wolf, and Fentress is nailed. I mean, the line for Clinton-Massie must have really broke down, and great pursuit by Miami Trace. They came right through the Massey line.
Yeah, we've seen during the course of the year that Trace has had great success with what we would call a double A-gap blitz, and it broke that down quickly, and Fentress never had a chance on that.
Nope. So looks like we've got a timeout and on the field, and time for us to talk to you about Route 73 homes in near Wilmington. You call my man Brian Lawrence out there, 937-725-6213. They've got some great modular homes out there. If you're looking for a new modular home or a new home, take a look at some of the homes they've got out there, and you can drive by and see what homes are there. You need to stop in and talk to Brian at 937-725-6213. That is Route 73 homes near Wilmington, and Clinton-Massie's had some real strong power runs, but that last play, Miami Trace defense really asserted themselves.
Yeah, Lee, they were on top of that, and they're getting pressure on, but looks like that one might be coming back.
Yes, they're see what that flag's about, but Fentress had to keep it and take off with it.
Yeah, it's in the area of holding, I believe.
Probably is on a run like that. You can often get that. And it's on, of course, Clinton-Massie. So that'll push them back even farther.
Well, I think Trace is going to decline it so that it was a fourth down, and they've got the ball. They stopped them again on fourth down, Lee.
So Miami Trace has come to really play ball tonight. They're really playing great defense, stopping Clinton-Massie when they have to. But Massey's had some great plays from scrimmage and gotten a lot of yards, but nothing on the board for either team right now.
It's kind of a 20-20 game right here with not anybody really penetrating the red zone as of yet.
So Stroker is back. He is looking to launch that ball, and he has a receiver, and that receiver caught the ball. And you can hear the Miami Trace fans going crazy. They are just loving this, and who can blame them?
Absolutely. Stroker hit Marcel Pettiford who we saw him go to earlier in the game when they
Yes.
went to the end zone.
Yeah.
And he had position on the one in the end zone, and this time he got the ball.
Yes, and the ball is now on the 35-yard line of Clinton-Massie. A huge play for Miami Trace. So Stroker is back, and he's looking to throw it again. He's got a receiver, and the ball went out of bounds, wasn't catchable, and the receiver fell down, but that ball was overthrown. But
Yeah,
he had Massey scrambling all over the field.
he did. And
Miami Trace scrambling, I mean.
for a second there, I think if Stroker had thrown a little bit quicker, he had a shot at that.
Right.
But the Massey corner made up the coverage room and shut him down pretty quickly there.
Right. So we have another timeout for Miami Trace. So let's talk again about our friends at the Equipment Superstore. 3025 Progress Way, Wilmington, Ohio. You can call them locally at 937-382-0941 or 877-327-6727. You can also check them out in Georgetown, Ohio at 877-753-9722, or they have a retail outlet in Jeffersonville, Ohio. The Equipment Superstore, call 877 Farm Parts. They have your Case IH equipment, and also they have some great lawn and garden equipment. And we are back to action. Coach Bill Hrabak, they have stayed within the 25-yard lines most of the night. Nobody's really been able to go. We got a big run going. It looked like the fullback maybe was a ball carrier, big number 55.
Jeremiah Jones,
Yes.
a nice little power run. Third, a little bit longer than you like, but it's still not a real bad situation. We got
He's a big, strong runner, big, strong guy.
big kid. He goes at about 190 pounds, which is a nice size running back.
I saw him really assert himself in a game against Wilmington earlier this year. And there's another power run.
It's going to take him into a fourth and makeable.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the first quarter, Lee.
Into the first quarter already. No score, believe it or not, here at Ireland Field and at Clinton-Massie High School. And you called it as far as Miami Trace keeping Clinton-Massie off the scoreboard, not letting them roll up big scores. And the Massey defense, I think, has right now been the real key to this game because they have stopped Clinton-Massie on their own field.
If Trace can keep on doing this all night, the question is, will they wear out? But at this point, they've looked excited and motivated, and if that continues, this is going to be a heck of a football game.
You got it. While we have a moment, let's talk about our friends at Route 73 Homes. You can visit them on the web at www.route73homes.com. You can call Brian Lawrence, 937-725-6213. Over 25 years experience helping your dreams come through. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to 3. And we're just about set to go back to action here with the teams changing ends. And we have Miami Trace with the ball down on the Clinton-Massie 30-yard line. So they're down deep in Massey territory again.
Yeah, second time they've knocked on the door here.
Right. Be nice for them to put points on the board, but we will see. And it looks like Stroker trying to get upfield, and he got a few yards.
It's going to be close.
Yeah.
Depending on the mark here, they may have. Well, I think they're going to be a little short on it.
I think they are too. Yeah. Ball is on about the. All right, it is short. Turnover on downs. We've seen this before.
Yeah, this is the fourth time we've seen four and out.
You just wonder how long this is going to continue till somebody's offense figures out a way to get points on the board.
And that's where Massey would probably have the advantage, is they have the breakaway speed, and both the Wolf boys that at any point they could change this game in about 10 seconds.
Yeah. Massey has a great passing game, but they've had some overthrown passes and inaccurate passes that haven't connected. But if they can connect and assert themselves a little bit offensively, they can sure take advantage of a quick score.
Yeah, that play just looked like it never really got going there.
No.
Bailey looks like his cleats got tangled in the turf, and
Right.
but he was still able to pick up a yard on that. So.
Yeah. Ball is on the near the 28-yard line of Clinton-Massie. As Clinton-Massie has the ball, and you think they will continue to just keep trying to run the ball, or is it about time to try another pass and try to catch it up? Here we go, upfield again.
I was just going to say that Gowden might be the guy that changes the change of pace back for them that they want. Trace might not be keying on and could break off a big run here.
Possible. I think Gowden is in the game, so he's always a go-to guy when you need a big power run.
Absolutely. And then here we go again, Lee, 3rd and 5.
Yep.
And, one of those where you can dial up a number of things from screens to draws to rollouts.
We do have a wide out down near the Massey sidelines, and Bailey Wolf
Play
in
action.
motion. Oh, tried to thread it in there between two defenders, and nothing going.
4th down again.
Yeah.
Seems
Here
like
we
the
go.
story tonight, Lee.
Story of the night. Nobody getting on the scoreboard, and
Nope.
Everybody's trading 4th downs.
Fentress looked like he had a little bit of happy feet. Trace has had some good pressure on him tonight, and he didn't really look comfortable in the pocket there.
He's kind of hearing footsteps back there a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
All right, we have our first punt of the game, and Miami Trace has got it, and looks like Massey is strung out. Not much gain on that punt.
No, Zach Santoro has a 41-yard average this year, and what a weapon to have when you get on the field to be able to flip the field on your opponent.
He can kick the daylights out of the football, and it's pretty accurate as to where he wants to kick it to most of the time.
Yes.
All right, now Miami Trace needs to get something going here and build some momentum. They have pretty much on defense. Stroker hands the ball off.
Short gain for number 6, Austin Dyer.
Austin Dyer. And we'll probably hear his name a few times tonight.
Yes. Good performer for Trace, and they've got a wealth of running backs over there.
Yes. All right. Maybe a yard on that play. Nothing much there.
This is crucial for Stroker to make a play here to put this in a makeable situation.
And let's see, we might have a delay of game there.
No, but another illegal procedure.
Okay. Yeah, so that'll back Miami Trace up 5 more yards.
That's Trace's second miscue of the night like that. And
in a game like this, you can't afford those kind of penalties.
No, playoff games, those are the kind of things that'll kill you, and they go from second and bad to second and worse here.
You're right. So, like it'll be, they got to get 15, and Stroker is trying to throw the ball, and nobody home over there. They had a receiver within maybe 5 yards, but not really anybody he could connect to.
Yeah, I think Devin Sally had him closed down, and Stroker did the smart thing and just pitched that out of bounds.
Right. He just, you definitely want to avoid a sack down in this territory, especially because you're already 15 yards or so from a first down, and you take a sack, you could really be in bad shape.
Yeah, you don't want to you want to give Massey anything at this point, especially.
Joker's looking to get the ball way down there.
He's looking for Pettiford again.
And I think we have a Clinton-Massie interception. You kind of could see that coming.
Yeah, you could. And, I guess one way to look at that is, would you have punted the ball that far? So for Miami Trace, with a 3rd and long, things could have turned out worse there for him.
Right.
And Massey, of course, makes the play, and they've got the ball. Now they've got to do something with it.
But they have to go about 80 yards for a score,
Yeah.
and we have not been able to see anybody do that yet tonight.
Not at all. We've seen some, like we talked about before, the balls move between the 20s, but it seems to stall when we get down in those
You're
areas.
right. All right, Clinton-Massie has burned a timeout now. I think Miami Trace has used, 2 timeouts, and now Massey has used 1. So
yeah, they are. If the clock is right, it shows that both teams are down to 1 timeout.
Okay.
And we're at 9:09, Lee. We've went 15 minutes without a score. Who would have believed this?
No, nobody, because I know the Clinton-Massie fans expected Massey to come out and do what they did the last time these two teams met and just run up and down the field and put the ball in the end zone, and they have not been able to get their offense on track. Miami Trace's defense has definitely been up to the challenge.
I agree. Trace has done what we thought they might do, is try to string the field out on the sweeps, and they've had success keeping them in manageable situations.
Clinton-Massie with a handoff right up the middle.
Nice 4-yard gain there.
Yep. That guy was maybe, was that Chase Wolf with the carry on that?
Yeah, I think it was.
And so he gets positive yards, and Massey keeps moving. They've moved well most of the time within the 20, 25-yard lines.
Absolutely.
But when they get down close, Miami Trace seems to find some way to get them stopped and get the ball on 4th down.
Yep, they just need to, again, play Massey football here. If they can continue to pick up 3-4 yards.
Got a pitch out to Bailey Wolf, and he is rolling. Wow. That is a huge gain for Clinton-Massie.
Yeah, about a 15-yard gain for Wolf, and he was about a step away from going the full 80 yards.
Right. He had that one last tackle. If they hadn't got him there, he might have been gone.
Exactly.
And he's capable of breaking it if he gets a step on somebody.
Definitely one of the bigger plays tonight for Massey, and maybe this will get the Falcons rolling here.
And we've got Fentress out, and looks like Bailey Wolf again.
A nicely conceived play. They ran motion behind the trips. The trips receivers ran off the defenders and hit him a little flare. And 10 yards down the field, he's good as gold.
To get around the corner a little bit down there and get some big yardage.
Yep.
That's 2 plays in a row that Massey has got big yardage, and maybe the offense is starting to assert itself a little.
Yeah, Trace is going to have to come up with some answers, because right now Massey's giving them some different looks, and it doesn't look like they've handled them too well.
And maybe the adrenaline is running off a little on Miami Trace too. They had Bailey Wolf again, but only about maybe 2-3 yards that time. But you come in. Both teams probably came in with a high adrenaline level.
Sure.
And
Playoff
maybe
time.
that adrenaline is starting to wear off on Miami Trace a little bit. But
I think Trace has stayed solid. You know, their game plan was probably to stop the inside trap and the sweep, and they've had success. But Massey's dialed up some different stuff, and now they have to address that. Here's the same play we just saw a few minutes ago.
And looks like Fentress has got lots of room to run, and he may be heading for the corner of the end zone. And there you go, Coach.
Nice play by Fentress.
Oh, yeah. They gave him big lane to run there, and
Fentress kept the ball off the same play we saw a few minutes ago, where they threw the little flare to Bailey Wolf behind the trips, and Trace overplayed it, and Fentress made him pay for it by cutting back across the field and scoring on a long run.
Was it really a little bit of a play fake at the beginning of that play to kind of draw the defense? And
Absolutely.
He found the seam, and he was gone.
He made the secondary believe that it was going to be a rollout pass, and when they dropped, he made them pay.
Right. All right, here comes the extra point kick, and we've got Fentress holding the ball, and we have the extra point. So it's now 7-0 Clinton-Massie, and that was a huge series of plays for Clinton-Massie.
Yeah, you could see Massey had picked up the pace. They had several plus 10-yard plays there, and if that continues, Trace is going to get themselves into a situation they don't want to be into tonight.
Right. Now, how do you keep your team going now with your Miami Trace? All of a sudden, you took over the ball on fourth downs 2 or 3 times, stopped Clinton-Massie repeatedly, and all of a sudden they break off 2 or 3 big plays and they're in the end zone. So you've got to regroup a little bit of your Miami Trace's defense.
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing that Trace has to do is they have to calm down. It's only 7-0,
right,
and not abandon what they came out doing because it had some success. And let's see what they do. Hopefully we don't see a panic mode here, and that could be disastrous for Trace.
Absolutely. If they can come out and control the ball on offense and run some time and not let Massey get the ball back. All right. Nice kickoff and a little bit of a return, but not much for Miami Trace. So they'll be, I think, starting at about the 20-yard line.
Yep.
So they'll have to go 80 yards to score.
Yeah, and let's see if they can do what Massey just did. They need to put some consistent big plays together to be able to get down the field and score like that.
Yes. All right. Jimmy Stroker and company is back up to the line, and looks like they may have some big boys in there on the line now, bigger boys. That may help that running game a little bit too. Not much there though.
No, the Massey defense was up to the task there.
They were looking for that play. They just stopped the line.
Sure.
If you know somebody's going to run and you can stack that line, if you've got the boys to do it, they're not going to get behind you.
Yeah, and when you have a player like Gowden in the middle, it's tough to run in that area.
Yeah, he will stuff you right on that line.
He sure will.
Stroker's looking to throw again, and he has a receiver right over on the sidelines, and a first down for Miami Trace at about the 31-yard line. So good play there, nice play.
Cedric Pettiford again.
Yeah.
The Pettiford boys, Cedric and Marcel, have had a nice night tonight.
Players.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
All right, Miami Trace coming back up to the line, and I think Stroker's going to be back under center again, and he's got some help in the backfield. See if they're just there to block or whether they're to help. Stroker's trying to throw the ball.
Oh, he's got him.
Another
great
interception.
play.
Oh, my land.
Josh Loud lays out and picks
right
off
there
the ball.
Again. Wow.
As we said earlier, Loud's had a nice game tonight for them.
Yes, he has. And just when you thought Miami Trace might have something working, Josh Loud gets the ball back for Clinton-Massie, and Miami Trace was hoping to keep that ball and just take their time, get it upfield, run some clock, and not let Massey get the ball back. But sorry to say that that interception, Josh Loud takes the ball back for Clinton-Massie, and here they are in great field position.
We see the trips with motion again. This is where Trace was having trouble.
And a big catch out here on the Clinton-Massie sidelines. Number 8.
It's a great play there. It's a 3-level flood. The middle man runs into the void, and he was wide open for a nice gain.
Yeah. So Clinton-Massie up to the 49-yard, their own 49-yard line, near midfield, and Miami Trace defense really got to find something here and get Massie stopped, or Miami Trace stopped.
It could be a moral victory for them if they can stop
Absolutely.
them here and have a shot to go into the half to only down 7.
Bailey Wolf is rumbling for big yardage.
Nice 12-yard gain for
Oh
Wolf.
my! He is just such a load when he gets moving. That he's a big, tall, strong kid, nice body size, and he can just power that football. He ran through a couple of defenders on that play.
Absolutely. Look kind of like a ping pong ball
Yeah,
flying
he's just
through
bouncing
there.
off of defenders and up the field. He went rumbling.
Absolutely. That was a beautiful run by Wolf.
This is a very key series of downs for Miami Trace here.
Pitch
We
to
got
the
a
short
pitch
side.
out, and Bailey Wolf just got back to about the line of scrimmage. He's back to the 40-yard line, actually back to the 41-yard line. So he may have lost a little bit on that, but lost his footing as he was trying to make a move.
That was what we've seen is Massie trying to run behind the trips, and that time they decided to go into the short side of the field, and Trace was up to the task on that one.
They sealed that off very nicely.
Yep.
All right. Ventress looks like he's going to throw one, and he has a receiver at the 30-yard line.
Zach Santoro again, same play we saw a little while ago.
Yep.
The 3-level flood, and the middleman was wide open.
Wow. Nice catch. Not quite enough for the first down, but very makeable first down here.
Absolutely. And, that's where Fentress showed a lot of maturity and poise by waiting for that to open up, because it takes a while for that middle receiver to get open.
And he is just a sophomore. He's got a couple more years if he stays healthy. And there goes, I think, Chase Wolf with the ball.
Chase Wolf.
And he may have the first down.
It's
It's going to be real close depending on the spot. Nope, I don't think he's got it.
Yeah,
From the spot, it doesn't look like it.
I don't know if they'll measure it or not here, Lee. Yeah, I think they're going to measure it.
I think they are.
But I agree. I think they're a
It's gonna
little
be,
bit short on this.
But, and it's what? Fourth down, third down? I can't see the scoreboard.
It's fourth. It's fourth down, right? It's going to be fourth down, and
but it's a very makeable fourth down with the Massie offense.
Exactly.
And you probably that.
You called it, Lee. They were a little bit short on that.
Just a fraction. Could be over an inch or so.
Probably couldn't get a playing card between there.
No, that's very, very close. Oh, they gave it to him. First down.
Well.
Oh, I guess it is fourth down.
It was.
They must have it.
It had to be like a chain link
Yeah,
there.
there must have been a kink in the chain there someplace. But Massie will go for it here. They likely would run Gowden right up the middle.
You could do a number of things here. I would say Gowden be a good choice. You could even see Fentress keep it and just push ahead for a first down.
You only need like an inch or so or less.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just got to get the line surge to make a little progress, and you called it. Fentress just took it up, and pretty much an easy first down.
Yeah, when you need that little and you've got a line like Massey's, that's a pretty sure bet.
Yeah.
And now you can open up your playbook a little bit. You're
getting
into the red zone area.
Yep. You're inside the 30-yard line at the 29. You've got a lot of field down in front of you that you can work with, as you say.
Makes it tough on defenses down
here.
here.
Yeah, because you don't really know what's coming. You've got two wide outs. You've got Fentress going to get it down there, and this could be it again. He got it.
Dylan Rose with the catch.
And I think that was That was a big play from Clinton-Massie, as we have seen over and over this year. When they need to, they can make a big play.
Yeah, Fentress got a nice play-action fake, and he was able to find Dylan Rose in the corner.
Rose, yes.
And he made him pay. And in 2 minutes now, we went from 0-0 to 13-0.
Amazing. You get a team that can just get the offense clicking. You better fasten your seatbelts, because this could get interesting.
Well, there was a reason why Massey set the state record for scoring last year.
Oh, yeah.
And we're seeing it right now.
Right. So it is 14-0 Clinton-Massie over Miami Trace here at Ireland Field, the home of the Falcons. And once again, football is brought to you by the folks at the Equipment Superstore. They have a store in Wilmington on Progress Way, Georgetown, and a retail outlet in Jeffersonville. Call 1-877-FARM Parts for all of your Case IH needs. They have lawn and garden equipment and all sorts of equipment for your farm and home. So check the folks at Equipment Superstore out. Also, game is brought to you by Route 73 Homes. Call Brian at 937-725-6213. And just that quickly, Massey's ready to kick off again.
And this is where Trace has got to make something happen, because they can't afford to turn it over deep in their own territory.
Right. And a nice kick from, I believe, Santoro maybe. And, wow. They are not getting much on the kickoffs. The pursuit for Massey is right there, big time.
All season, Massey's kickoff coverage has been very, very tight, and there was an example of what they do to people. They're kind of like a boa constrictor, and they keep you pinned in, and then they just put the squeeze on you.
And they get the ball in the air on kickoffs, and that allows the
coverage team
to get down and cover that kickoff. So we're back at the near the 15-yard line, and Stroker is trying to get outside and run a little bit. He gets some good yardage on that run.
Nice gain by Stroker.
Right. He's got some wheels. He can get out there and go. If he gets a little bit of blocking ahead of him, he can get some positive yardage.
He's got to be their playmaker if Trace is going to get back into this.
Right. And we've seen him in the past. I mean, he can definitely make some plays.
Absolutely. He does have a big arm, and he was a little bit late on that one pass that got picked off, but
he can. There we go.
There we go.
And Miami Trace is going to the house. Big run.
Trevor Haynes again.
Trevor Haynes gets loose. Or once he got through the line, it was goodbye.
Lee, we talked about it earlier. The thing that Haynes has done that maybe the other backs aren't doing is he gets north and south now.
He does. There's no running out to the sidelines or any of that. He just gets through there. Like we said, once he gets through the line, it was goodbye.
Right, and then that is the play that Trace needed to get themselves back mentally into this football game.
They've got points on the board, and they're will only be 7 points down if they get the field goal here, or the extra point.
Their kicker is Blake Pitzer.
Yeah.
I believe
that's good.
Yeah, solid kicker, and we've got a 14-7 game, Lee, and
we've still got a ball game.
We still got a ball game, exactly.
So that has to lift Miami Trace's spirits big time, because when you give the other team 14 unanswered points, you've got to rally and come back with something, and they did.
Yeah, they were in a do-or-die situation. If, as we talked about on that kickoff, if they did not do anything and Massey was able to score again before the half, this game, for all practical purposes, was over.
Yeah, but that was a huge offensive series.
Yeah,
and a really kind of a quick score.
Yeah, and that's what they needed to answer what's happened to them. And,
right.
And now Massey's got to regroup a little bit.
Yeah, they've got Massey's Massey back on their heels just a little bit. So let's see what Massey answers with here as we are a little bit later in the second quarter, heading for the half. So
yeah, I think though
Massey needs a deep kickoff here to kind of pin my.
Nice kick.
Yep.
Can they cover it? This is
Uh-oh.
Josh Loud again.
Josh.
No, not this time though.
Not this time, but gets the ball back to the 25-yard line, and that seems to be the magic line on the field right for most of the first quarter anyhow. The second quarter's been a little bit different, but that's where both teams seem to have kind of stuttered or stopped early in the game, but now it's been a different story here later in the second quarter.
Well, we've seen some points at least.
That's right. So see if Clinton-Massie can score more, or if Miami Trace's defense, Bailey Wolf trying to get around the corner, maybe a yard, not much.
We see
maybe a little more than that. It's hard to see with the markers on the sideline, but
a couple yards for Bailey, but
yeah, not much.
Now they went back to that the jet sweep out of their double slot, and Trace in the first quarter had good success stopping that. I would be curious to see if they'll come back out and go into that trips that gave Trace so much trouble.
Yeah.
And when they scored their 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was the real key in those 2 series.
Gowden.
Not much there. Maybe another yard, but not much. So we are up to the about the 29-yard line. And that's where Clinton-Massie is getting it back.
It's going to be a long 6 yards here, Lee.
It's been a long 6 yards. Not much, but you never know. Clinton-Massie can hook up on something in a heartbeat and be gone. So you never want to sit back and on your heels. Fentress is trying to throw the ball. I think he has got one. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Josh Loud.
And he is not going to get to the end zone, but he gets down inside the 20 to about the 16-yard line. A big hookup. That's what we were talking about.
Yep.
You can't sit back on your heels because Massey will take advantage in a hurry, and they did on that play.
Yeah, Josh Loud gave him a little stutter route, and it was enough to create a gap that he could catch the football and turned it into a big play. And
huge
again,
play.
How many times will Josh Loud come up tonight? Opening kickoff.
He's been all over the place tonight.
He sure has. He had some great defensive plays also.
Yes, and a handoff to Bailey Wolf, and he is down, I believe, inside the 10-yard line. Maybe.
I think it's going to come back. I think there's a hold on the edge there.
Yeah. That's a killer when you get a big play and then you got a hold or a penalty and brings you back.
Yeah, that would be one that you would.
Now, I see the flag.
Well, it's 10 yards from the mark, so
right.
There's still not going to be. They'll lose a few yards on that, but it's not going to be a.
They're walking off, but
horrible.
Yeah. And that's just outside the yard marker, so not a terrible field position.
It's just a little bit worse than where they were at. So
not like it's 1st and 15 or 2nd and 15 and
right.
Or 2nd and 20. This has got possibilities here, and still leaves you with some options.
Yeah, a little unbalanced line.
Yep. So. And another handoff to Bailey Wolf, but he gets stopped right back to the original line of scrimmage. So a good stop for Miami Trace.
Yep, and
that running the ball like that to the outside is just not working for Massey.
No, the outside zone to the short side of the field has just not been there tonight, and
no.
Massey's just trying to exert their will, and it may work eventually. But at this point, Trace has had their number.
And looks like Fentress is trying to get the ball, and he does. Touchdown, And we have another player in the game with a touchdown.
Isaiah Stuyvesant drags across the field on the bootleg.
That's a name we haven't called much tonight, but big play.
Yeah, a new number. Stuyvesant is a junior, 6 foot, 185 pounds, and he just scored in a playoff game.
Absolutely. And you don't know what that means to a kid's confidence now that he can go out there and play in a playoff game and put points on the board for you.
Sure. Well, that creates depth for you, and you know that you have other weapons, and down the playoff road, every game's going to get a little bit harder. So,
and the extra point's good, so that makes it 21-7 Clinton-Massie. So just as Miami Trace got a big lift when they scored 7, Clinton-Massie comes down and answers and puts 7 more on the board.
A dagger in the heart there for Trace. And we talked about that. There was a little less than 3 minutes to go when Massie got the ball back, and that's what Trace didn't need to let happen if they wanted to stay in this football game.
Right. So big key now for Miami Trace is they got to get down and get something going here real quick. What kind of time are we dealing with here? In the not a lot of time left.
We got 55 seconds, and I think this is one of those situations where Trace has still got to be careful because a turnover with Massie's explosiveness, you could be looking at 28-7 at halftime. And
absolutely, you don't want that.
No, and that could be the end of the football game as far as your not in terms of time, but your attitude could be gone after that.
If you're Miami Trace, you get the kickoff. Do you just run to the sidelines and get your offense on the field as quickly as possible, or you try to make something happen?
I think you see where your field position is before you make a determination on what you're going to do.
And I think not great field position.
20-yard line again, Lee.
Yeah. That may cause Miami Trace to get their last time out here shortly to try to see if they can't figure out a way to get the ball downfield.
Yeah.
Even if they take 3, that would have to be somewhat of a moral victory here at the closing seconds of the first half.
I agree with you. If they could get anything going, that would be a plus for them. 45 seconds is going to be tough, though, with one timeout.
Absolutely. All right. See what Stroker hands it off, and they try to run up the middle, and that may get most of the clock.
I think they may be content saying, let's go regroup and
don't take any unnecessary chances.
Yeah, I don't think that they want to give Massie the ball down here, and they're going to probably snap it one more time, and they'll be content with going at 21-7.
Stroker has the ball, and he got up to about the 30-yard line, but he's about a yard short of a first down. And the clock may run out here before they can get something else going. That is the end of the first half.
Pretty good first half here, Lee.
Right. We didn't know whether anybody was going to score for the longest time, but once Massie got going, it was Clinton-Massie football all over again.
Right, and other than a big play, which was kind of uncharacteristic of Massie to give up, it's really been a second quarter painted blue and red.
Right, and I guess they are going to try to get one more play off here, as there was a timeout. But
1 second to go, says.
Yeah. You just take a knee here and go back in the locker room and regroup for the second half?
I would think. I can't see them taking the chance on a Hail Mary where they may pick it off and run it back for a touchdown.
That would be the worst thing you could have happen.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Miami Trace. Stroker is going to try something.
But
he's going to throw it up there.
Looks like Josh Loud again.
Josh Loud nearly got it again.
What a game
my
Josh has
land.
had tonight.
That kid has been everywhere
Yeah.
tonight. Offense and defense,
And special teams.
special teams. Right now, if the game were to stop now, he might be the player of the game.
I think so. He's made some key plays in his corner position. Had that opening kickoff for he gave Massey great field position and has had some big catches. So, yeah, Josh Loud is kind of the silent hero at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll regroup and we'll come back and talk a little bit here before the start of the second half, and we'll take a little break and
Sounds
we'll talk
good.
about what we've seen here in the first half, just before the end of the halftime. All
Sounds
right.
good, Lee.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to do a little quick interview here, so I'll take that microphone and I'll give you a chance to get a break. Come on up. What's your foot there, Coach? Come on up.
All right, it's halftime here at Clinton-Massie, and one of the happiest guys here at Clinton-Massie has to be the superintendent of schools tonight, other than the fact that you had a disappointing election night, didn't you?
Yeah, on Tuesday. It's very disappointing. It's a great community, great school, great kids, great teaching staff. It's just a really nice, pleasant place to live. And but that's one of those things. You get knocked down, you get back up, just like you see him out here in the field.
Before we go too far, I guess I should introduce you. You are the superintendent of Clinton-Massie Schools, right?
Yeah, I'm the interim superintendent. Yes.
And your name?
Joe Schaller.
Joe Schaller. I had that written down somewhere, and I couldn't remember. I guess it's a senior moment for me. But, Joe, you have just been on the job, I guess, just a few short months.
Yeah, just about 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah.
And so, it's like I said, it's a really nice place to work, and it's as you can see, the facilities are unbelievable for the size.
Well, not only sports and sports are high at Clinton-Massie, but Clinton-Massie has always had a reputation for high academic standards.
Very high academics, excellent rating year after year, and that really tells you what kind of staff we have here at Clinton-Massie
Yes.
School.
Yes. What are some of the challenges with the levy being defeated? What are some of the challenges now that the school system will be facing?
Well, the whole thing stems from the fact that they haven't asked money since 1988. They haven't asked for any operating expenses. And as you know, from 1988 to now, prices have gone up on everything there is.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just a matter of trying to keep up with the inflation that we are encountering. And so it's just one of those things that has to be done. I mean, the state of Ohio has probably the worst way, anyway, of financing schools.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they would fix it like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's still broken.
Yeah.
But you just gotta work and do the best you can. And I would say really, if this is the first levy that they've run in 25 years, the people in this school district should understand they've been fiscally responsible quite a bit to be able to do that.
You can see by the facilities that things have really been well taken care of. There's excellent facilities here.
I guess I should be using my microphone and not be used both. You can hold that one.
All righty.
All right. And but this is just such a remarkable facility. Got a great football field, a great gymnasium, got great classrooms, great teachers. Is there going to be any expectations of maybe running a spatial levy or anything?
Well,
anything
the next
like that been
opportunity
discussed?
is May 6th, and that'll be decided in the next couple of months by the school board.
Okay.
We'll discuss issues and try to figure out why it went down and what are the people telling us, and we'll listen to them and from there go on and make a decision sometime in January and February, and if we run it in May, it'll be on May 6th.
Okay. Well, let's. We wish nothing but the best for Clinton-Massie. Is part of the SCOL, part of great schools, great community, and there's been some incredible run of great athletics. There's been a lot of people that have came from the school districts that have went on and had great success in life too.
Right. and that's what it's all about. That's what the schools are for, and that's why it's just one of those things. It will get over this and continue to be a great school and great academics and excellent rating, and continue to give the people of Clinton-Massie the best education possible for the students.
Well, let's hope there doesn't have to be any serious cuts or anything financially, because that only hurts the students, and we don't want that.
It's very devastating for the community too, and and the district.
And
it took a long time to build this up, and you hate to see things like that happen. So
absolutely,
it's just a matter of common sense and saying, hey, you got to have money to operate.
Absolutely, and once again, Clinton-Massie has great sports programs. They have great athletics, and they have, most importantly, great academics.
Right.
Superintendent Schaller, thank you for being on with us.
All right, thank you very much.
Hopefully you'll get the voters turned around and get this thing going again.
Well, all you can do is give 100%, and we'll try.
Well, I'm sure that the community will be back and support you hopefully in May if you get something on the ballot.
Right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, Superintendent Joe Schaller of the Clinton-Massie football or Clinton-Massie schools. He is the interim superintendent, and we thank him for being our halftime guest here on GTVR.net.
And Rick Phillips,
I'm going to hand you this microphone. We'll talk a minute, and then I'll take a little break, and we'll get to hear some band and maybe get another barbecue sandwich here in the press box. Your thoughts on the first half? You got to see it from kind of the background, but
that's true. I had a little different perspective this particular game than I have in previous games, but I was just talking to Coach Hrabak. It really helps to have that kind of analysis in the other seat there.
Yeah.
We haven't had that obviously in previous games, but really has added some real color to our broadcast here tonight.
Absolutely.
But anyway, it's been a competitive game, which is what we were looking for. We wanted to see if Miami Trace could sort of turn it around from the previous game, and they have. I think that, the real key is going to be this third quarter. What happens in this third quarter is going to have a lot to do with how this game plays out.
Well, obviously Miami Trace will receive the ball in the second half, and that first series could go a long way toward telling the story as to how they're going to fare here in the second half.
Absolutely. We'd also like to remind everybody that tomorrow we're going to be in Washington Courthouse at our favorite place, the Rusty Keg Tavern, once again hosting us there for our Saturday morning coaches show at 11 o'clock.
Sir.
We'd like everybody that's listening tonight to tune in tomorrow, or even come in and actually see us in person.
Absolutely.
We're a lot prettier in person than we are on the radio, aren't we?
Yeah, some would say that. Some would say that. Some would not, but some would say that. But, it's a great place. I have another East Clinton coach on tomorrow, Scott Strieber, and we'll talk about East Clinton boys varsity basketball, and we'll also talk about the East Clinton alumni basketball game.
Now, I knew you were going to get that in there
I
somewhere.
was going to get to that, but at any rate.
Is this a little bit of self-promotion now, Lee?
Well, the girls alumni will play, I think, at 5:30. The men
You're
will
not
play
playing
at
in that game, though, are you?
I probably should be playing with them instead of the boys, but I promised them I would make 2 trips up and down the floor.
Well,
after that,
are we broadcasting that game?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, but after that, depends on the availability of oxygen.
Well, now some of the other things that we've been talking about that we've got scheduled, we're going to be doing the Holodazzle this year.
Holodazzle parade.
Well, you've been doing it for the past 5 years, right? This is the 6th year?
6th year. It'll be right there on GTVR.net for the very first time. It'll be live around the world.
And one of the things that people don't know maybe behind the scenes is my son Preston is responsible for turning the star on at the top of Buckley's to start the whole parade.
Yeah, that's right. So it'll kind of be a group affair.
I guess, a whole family thing and family and friends.
Well, hopefully there won't be any light bulbs out when he turns it on.
I hope he's checked it out, ahead of time.
All right, well, Rick, I'm going to let you take over for a little bit here and maybe talk about the band on the field.
Right, we'll let them listen a little bit to the halftime.
And,
right now,
I'll
we've
take
got
a little
the
break.
Miami Trace marching band on the field, and they're entertaining. So we'll let you hear a little bit of the marching band from Miami Trace. It's halftime right here on GTVR, Global TV and Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Clinton-Massie Marching Band is under the direction of Band Director Kristen McLean and are led by Senior Field Commander Casey Pohl. The Marching Falcons will be presenting 2 selections from the award-winning competition show entitled Classified, celebrating the music of James Bond. Tonight they'll perform.
All right, now we're going to be listening to the marching band from Clinton-Massie. Once again, it's halftime. Global TV Radio bringing you halftime ceremonies at the first of many playoff games. And tonight, right now, we've got a score of 21-7, Clinton-Massie leading Miami Trace. So we'll turn it over to the marching band from Clinton-Massie.
now the band will present the Clinton-Massie fight song. The marching band would like to thank you tonight for your support all season long and remind you that our Fan Boosters concession stand located next to the visitor bleachers is still serving hot baked potatoes, hot marching tacos, and hot chocolate. Thank you.
We are are getting ready for second half action here. And Coach is making a few notes. We'll talk about the first half action. And we'll see what could transpire here in the second half. I don't really know for sure if what Miami Trace will be trying to do, get things started here in the second half, but we'll see. As the teams are back out on the floor, are back out on the field. And they're getting ready for second half action here at
Yeah, sure did. How's Stoker doing there?
5 carries, 24 yards.
we are getting things ready for second half action, and we'll talk to the Coach Hrabak here in just a moment. I want to remind you, football is brought to you. I got to get my foot untangled. I got it wrapped around a cable there. Football is brought to you on gtvr.net by the folks at Route 73 Homes on State Route 73 south of Wilmington. And actually, the address is 4629 State Route 73. And they have lots of great modular homes out there. You need to stop by and see my man Brian Lawrence out at Route 73 Homes. We also want to remind you, football is brought to you by the Equipment Superstore out on Progress Way, which is right along the near Walmart here in Wilmington, You can call them locally, 937-382-0941, or call them at 877 Farm Parts, or visit their Georgetown store at 9762 US 68 in Georgetown. You can phone them at 877-753-9722. And we're just getting about set for second half action. Both teams look like they're ready to go. Coach, what's your evaluation of that first half?
I think, Lee, first 15 minutes, we saw what we thought Trace had to do to stay in the football game. And then the next 9 minutes, we saw what we thought Massey could do. And that's what brings us to the 21-7 score right now. We saw Massey had 279 yards in the first half to Trace's 204, but after the first quarter, never thought they'd have 200 between them.
No. There was a lot of exchanges on fourth downs within the 20-yard lines, and didn't look like anybody was going to get inside the 20, but all of a sudden, Clinton-Massie hooked it up, and they were off and running. And as a result, the score is 21-7 as we start the second half. Looks like a nice run back for Miami Trace as they get the ball here in the second half and puts them in good field position to start this third quarter.
Anytime you get the ball up back to around the 35, you consider that a good return. That's usually an average starting field position. So Trace is starting out in a pretty good situation here.
They just need to be able to hold on to the ball and no turnovers.
Right, and put some points on the board.
Absolutely. They got a nice run right up the middle from number 35.
Jeremiah Jones.
I've seen him, and you probably have seen him assert himself in some games, and he can be a strong force out there.
Well, it's like we said in the first half with Haynes, who was getting good yardage north and south. Jones got his shoulder pads turned north and south and picked up some good yardage.
Get a couple of good running backs and can keep both of them fresh. You can utilize them very well. Nice first down now for Miami Trace as they push the ball up to about their own 48-yard line. They're near midfield pretty quickly.
Yeah, Trevor Haynes had 6 carries for 102 yards in the first half, most of that on a 70-yard run.
Yeah.
But if he continues to do this, he might be on his way to 200 tonight.
He is looking pretty strong out there. Stroker looks like he's back to pass. He's got a receiver out there, and it is broken up.
One of the Pettiford boys, and he just couldn't come down with it.
Yeah, nice tight coverage by Clinton-Massie on that ball because if Pettiford gets that ball, it's probably 6.
Yeah, they would definitely, if they didn't score, they would definitely be deep into the red zone.
Yeah.
And
he was
Devin,
down around the 30-yard line, so that would have been great yardage.
Absolutely.
And we have
looks like Haynes again.
Haynes, and he's across midfield to about the 48-yard line of Clinton-Massie. So they're definitely going the right way.
Yeah, and Haynes gives them a chance on this third down. It's 3rd and 6, which, an average situation, a lot of different things they can do here.
Yes. And another handoff. And here we go. Oh, boy. Right upfield, a nice run, handoff.
Trevor Haynes again.
Trevor Haynes strikes again for the Miami Trace Panthers. And just like that, they're right in this ball game.
21-13. That's what Trace needed, as we talked about. Yeah. They had to do that to get back into this game. And
that's in any situation. If you get the ball to start the second half, you want to come out and get something done to establish your presence in this game and to get some momentum, and that's exactly what Miami Trace did.
Yeah, it's swung back to them. Let's see if they can keep it here after they put the ball back in Massey's hands.
Well, and that is a extra point, and it is 21-14, just like that. And not much time went off the clock on that.
No, we're looking at 10:22 here in the third period, and basically they did what they had to do in a quick way.
And now the momentum is definitely in favor of Miami Trace. Let's see what the Falcons can do to change that momentum swing.
Massey's been here before, and they know how to answer these type of situations, and let's see if they do that.
And they definitely got it going there in the second quarter of the first half as they really started asserting their offense.
They found some things that worked very well against Trace and what they were trying to do, and I think unless Trace made the proper adjustments at halftime, they're going to have problems.
And
it's our buddy again, Josh Loud.
Josh Loud again. Seems like he's got his hands on the ball all the time, either on offense or defense. That time he was on special teams, and he ran the ball back. And here we go with the first possession of the second half for the Clinton-Massie Falcons offense. And, of course, Hunter Fentress will be at quarterback along with, I think, Chase and Bailey Wolf are both in the game.
Yeah, what a pair to have back there.
Wow. They're great weapons to have for any quarterback. Basically, when you're Hunter Fentress and a pitch out to Chase Wolf, he doesn't get much. That play, for the most part, just hasn't worked for Clinton-Massie.
No, and again, in the first half, we pointed out how Trace has used that sideline and run Bailey and Chase to the sideline every time they try to get outside. Yeah. And
no matter whether it's the short side or the
wide side,
wide side, they just cannot get around the corner, and Trace has strung those plays out to the sidelines, one side or the other. So definitely Massey has got to maybe try something else, or maybe we've got a pass coming here, but it's hard to tell. Fentress is under center, and
Trap.
he hands the ball off to Chase Wolf, and he runs right up center. And he's very close to a first down, but I don't think he's depending on the spot.
The man at the top of the field where he marked it, if that's where they have it, now they've.
It is a first down.
Yep.
Yeah, it was within inches of not being
Yeah,
a first down. But
how many times have we had that tonight? I mean, that's it seems like every one's been pretty close.
That's right. But that gives Clinton-Massie new life here. And another handoff.
Chase Wolf.
Chase Wolf.
Handoff number 7, Chase Wolf.
If you can run two good running backs and then occasionally hit a fullback, you're going to eventually wear down the other team's line and the other team's defense, because you can only just stand there and take a pounding like that so many times. So,
right, and Massey's line being as big and strong as it is, they'll wear you down, and we've seen that all year with people, and that's been a prescription for victory for them.
All right, Massey is back, and it's like another handoff to Chase Wolf.
Third and short.
And they're up within a yard or two of another first down.
Yeah.
So in their situation, I think they are just going to be content to run the ball until they have to throw it, just to, if nothing else, take time off the clock.
Yeah, and I think the thing here is with the lead, if they can take time off the clock, you're going to force Trace to do something they don't want to do, and they're going to have to start throwing it a lot. And
We've seen what happens sometimes when they throw it, too.
Right.
Josh Loud has been right there.
Yep. Oh, nice play.
I think that's a stop, and see where they give him forward progress, but I don't think he got the first down. He's going to be close, but
Travis Grooms, big linebacker for Trace, has had a great year and stepped up, filled that hole.
It looks like Clinton-Massie's going to punt the ball. They're not going to take a chance on fourth down.
I think they have to do it here because they have the lead. Now, this is also a situation where fakes are very, very possible.
Well, both coaches kind of said that they may have a trick. And there it is. Oh, my land, look at this.
David Tunyon.
You called it, Coach.
Yeah, you had to think right there in that situation. It was a great fake situation, and nice fake by the punter. Everybody thought that the ball had been snapped over his head.
That just makes you feel kind of low when they pull that on you. If you're on the defense or on special teams defense and they pull something like that on you, it really can be devastating. But Massey pulled it off to perfection that time.
Yeah, and that's why there's state champs.
Uh-oh. Well, just as Chase Wolf was about to get loose, the Trace defense kind of caught up with him, but not without about a 4 or 5 yard gain.
Yeah, he just about had the edge, and Trace said no, and so we have a 2nd and long situation.
Massey's still determined just to run that end sweep out there, and they just keep trying it, and maybe eventually it'll work.
I agree with you. I think that's the idea, is that you can't stop it all night. At some point, they're going to break it.
Right up the middle goes Chase Wolf for a few yards.
That's going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah. Now they are definitely in field goal range.
Oh, yeah.
They are down inside the 10-yard line. Looks about the 6 or 7 yard line. So this is where Clinton-Massie can be very, very dangerous.
I would say, too, I would expect if they don't pick it up on 3rd down, I would fully expect to see them go for it on 4th down.
Yes. Let's see here. We've got a timeout for a Miami Trace. They're going to think about this a little bit, and they are
They didn't like what they saw when Trace came out and lined up, and Coach McShirley is going to take some time to talk about this and make sure they have the right play called for it.
Absolutely. If you're Miami Trace, do you kind of bring the house at Ventress here, or do you stay back in kind of a pass protection mode, or what are you looking for here?
Well, I think the two things, it's going to go from one where you're going to see them try to run Bailey Wolf up the middle to pick the first down up, or Ventress is going to boot off of that. And I would say if you're going to run the boot, this would be the down, fourth down. You're just going to tell them we're going to get the first down and go after you.
Yeah.
And so I think if we see the play action, it'll be this down.
I want to remind you that for halftime and all the action tonight brought to you by the Equipment Superstore and Route 73 Homes. All right, now Clinton-Massie ready to snap the ball, and a handoff. I believe that Bailey Wolf has the first down.
Yeah, from here it looks like he got to where he needed to.
He did not go completely outside. I think he ran maybe off tackle there a little bit, and first down.
Yeah, he used a little jump step on that. He set him up to the outside, jumped inside, and was able to pick up the first down.
There you go, yeah. And that, for the most part, I think the running game, that's where Massey's really needs to be. Not that they haven't done a lot of things well tonight, but just pound the Wolf boys up inside a little bit.
Right. They've had a lot of patience on this drive. And again, we've talked about all night. They're going to continue to run that.
3-yard line now.
Yeah.
Lot can happen from inside the 3-yard line.
Absolutely. Yeah, they just need to hang on to the ball, make sure they don't turn it over here, and that'll give them a cushion. It's got to be deflating for Trace to go down and score and watch Massey march down the field and put it back in.
And Massey has definitely taken a lot more clock than Miami Trace. Even though that was a great series for Trace, they didn't use a lot of clock, and Massey has used a lot of clock on this series.
How true. And
right down.
It's a little short.
About a yard short, but they got, if they don't make the touchdown, they're right exactly in the center of the field, a perfect lineup for a field goal if they don't make a touchdown here.
True, and it would be interesting to see what he decides to do if they do get the fourth down, because right now, with a yard to go, you have to assuming they don't lose yardage here, they're going to be very makeable if they go on fourth down.
Yes. Well, you look maybe for Bailey Wolf or to take the ball and go right up the middle. Wow.
And walks into the end zone.
Never left his feet.
No.
Just walked right in off, looked like the right tackle maybe. And it was just kind of a cakewalk into the end zone. That was strong.
Tremendous surge by the Massey line. And Wolf pretty much walked into the end zone.
If you're Miami Trace, wouldn't you think you would maybe have seen that coming, that you knew that maybe they just couldn't figure out a way to stop him?
I think that's probably what it was, is that, at some point some teams can exert their will and get it done, and Massey showed it on that play.
They have a big offensive line, and they can really make some holes out there when they have to.
Yeah, 28-14, Lee, it's got to be deflating for Trace here.
Yeah, that was a real blow to Miami Trace's. They had to be feeling pretty good after they went right down and scored at the beginning of the second half. And then Massey comes right down and just methodically goes downfield. Not a lot of big plays, but good, strong plays, and always seem to make forward progress on every play.
Yeah, and it was a 6-minute drive. We're down to 4:05 here in the third quarter, and that puts a lot of pressure on Trace because the number of times you're going to have the ball now are going to be cut down.
That's right. You basically, if you can't put any more points on the board here in the third quarter and you get to fourth quarter and you're down 28-14, you're kind of hurting. But, not that stranger things haven't happened. We've seen a lot of football games where there can be a fourth quarter turnaround, too. So this game is a long, long way from over.
This is true.
Oh, there's the kickoff from Clinton-Massie, and it's a big, strong kick. And I know Coach McSorley has talked about having a real strong kicking game, and they have. And Miami Trace is pinned back inside the 15-yard line. Now they're going to have a drive of over 85 yards to get it down there.
Yeah,
we see on that first series in the third quarter, they were able to do that.
Right. It might be a little early to say this is a crucial drive, but I think if Trace doesn't answer this last score by Massie, they're digging themselves a pretty big hole.
Absolutely. Especially if Massie would come back and score again in any fashion.
Right. Any points at this point would make it a 3-score game, and
right.
as few points as Massie gives up, that's going to be a tall order for anybody.
Here we go. Holding on Miami Trace now. And that you can ill afford any penalties when you're back behind the 20-yard line, especially. You're going to be backed up in the shadow of your goalpost pretty quickly here. They're back to about the 8-yard line or 7-yard line.
And now you have to worry about things like safeties and that if, you drop back to pass. So it creates a level of uncomfort for the offense.
We've seen in many different games what happens. Your quarterback is deep in his own end zone, and he gets sacked.
Yep.
And it looks like Stroker is trying to get out and get loose, but Massie was waiting on him. He did get a few yards back.
I got about 5 on that. And again, any yardage at this situation gets you further away from the goal line, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, they're up to about the 13-yard line now. So they still have, about 5-6 yards to go to get a first down.
Stroker did a good job getting back the penalty yardage. And
Kid does have a pretty good head on his shoulders out there at quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's quick, and he can get mobile.
Yeah, and we'll see what he does in a second. A little option action.
And
a first down.
Got the first down. Nice play.
Number 3, Devin Sally. Number 14, Josh Loud. That will be a Panther first down.
A little variation of the old speed option. I'm sorry, freeze option.
All right.
And Stroker made him pay. Picked up some nice yardage. See if
they got some good yardage there, and they got a first down. Here we go.
Got a little north and south.
Maybe a yard or two, and that's about it.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
Do want to say a special hello to an East Clinton grad and a friend of mine, Chuck Howard, who's listening down. He is also Hunter Fentress' uncle. He's living down in the Carolinas and listening to our broadcast. And all of the folks that, my phone just died. For those of you who may have texted me, my phone died, so I can't read your text. But all of those who text me that you're listening to the game. We've got a big play.
The big boy is rumbling again.
The big boy is rolling now. Jeremiah Jones with another Miami Trace first down.
This is definitely what Trace needed, Lee.
Yeah. You see the way he had his hands on the ball. He was not going to lose that football.
He's saying, I'm not turning this one over.
No way. And that's what you got to do if you want to get back in this game, and you got to have ball control and ball security.
Right.
And he definitely wasn't going to let go of that football.
Pretty impressive. Trace was back on the 8, and they're all out to their own 48 right now.
Rolling out.
I think he's
right
keeping
side.
it. I think he's going, Lee.
Keep it, and he's close to the first down, maybe a yard shy.
Yeah,
great run for Stroker.
Absolutely, gave us a rollout look, and there was really no intent to throw on that. Stroker was keeping that ball all the way.
When you got kids like Stroker, Jeremiah Jones, and the Pettiford boys, there's hope.
Yeah, they have
Those
some weapons.
Guys are great football kids, and at any time, any one of them can break something and go. But not this time.
Well,
Massie was waiting on them that time when they're.
Yeah. Kelson Godden
Yeah.
Whether he be on offense or defense, he's a
He
presence.
was all over that play. So that was a big, big play.
Yeah, we go from short and very short to third and a makeable third down, but obviously not real close to where it's a sure thing.
Definitely don't want Massey's defense storming through the line like they just did.
No, not at all. And there he goes again.
And we are off to the races.
This is Austin Dyer this time.
Austin Dyer for Miami Trace, and Trace is coming right back.
And as long as they can keep on doing this, Massey's got to pay attention to detail and get it done. And, I think another 6-minute drive would be well called for right now.
Right. But, boy, for Miami Trace, that's just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and, you're down to 39 seconds in the quarter, and we're going to have a barn burner here going in the fourth quarter.
This fourth quarter could be very, very exciting. And for those who are listening, don't go anywhere because we've got us a football game and a 7-point football game. This is definitely not the game we saw here a couple of weeks ago.
Not at all.
Massey just ran over Trace. Trace is not going to go away.
No, they are they're a veteran football team. They have a lot of playmakers, and we've seen them be able to step up with different people and score from different situations on the field.
Yeah.
And I think that's given Massey a little trouble because Massey probably didn't expect these kind of plays by some of the kids they're seeing them from.
Absolutely. Jimmy Stroker has rolled out. He's ran the ball on keepers, and he has really commanded this offense here in the second half.
Trevor Haynes has kept them honest
Right.
with his north and south running, and
Right.
Jeremiah Jones, they've all done a nice job helping keep themselves in this
Right.
football game.
Now, the key is to Miami Trace keep Clinton-Massie off the scoreboard again and have a chance to tie the game up.
Well, that's been a problem for him, and there's our friend again.
Uh-oh. This is a big run for
There he
number
goes.
14.
Josh Loud.
Josh Loud, who has literally been everywhere on this football field tonight.
The 5'9", 170-pound senior has played himself a whale of game
Absolutely.
tonight.
As we said at the first, in the first half, or at the end of the first half, if the game was over right now, he might be player of the game. He is just, he's been on defense. He's intercepted a couple of balls. He's ran the ball back strong on special teams. He's been on offense. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, Josh has done a great job, and he's going to be a sore young man tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but he might be a happy young man
Yes.
if Clinton-Massie can hold on. So here we go with Clinton-Massie near midfield. And,
Play action.
We are getting the ball in the air. Oh, nearly a catch down there.
Dylan
for
Rose.
Dylan Rose. He bounced that ball around on his fingertips for a while.
Dylan almost had the nail in the coffin there.
Oh, my. Yeah, that could have been really tough. They opened it up on the that big long pass play, and Dylan nearly pulled that one in. He juggled it, and it finally fell to the ground, but that could have been huge.
Yeah, 14 points going into the fourth quarter would have been a big lead to almost insurmountable lead for Trace,
So-
but they came back and were able to
All
tip
right.
the ball away.
We've got Bailey Wolf, the ball carrier, got about 5 yards on that, so they're on the other side of the midfield line over in the Miami Trace 48-yard line.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Into the third quarter. We've got another quarter to go, Coach, and this has turned out this is nothing like the first quarter.
Oh, no, not at all. We've seen, since a scoreless first quarter, we've seen 49 points put on the board between the two teams, and really picked up the pace. And could have been a little tightness in the first quarter, and kind of like the the old boxing matches between Ali and Frazier. You go a few rounds to feel each other out before you start throwing the haymakers.
Yeah, but speaking of that, there have been some haymakers thrown in this game. Big pass plays, big running plays. Been pretty exciting after they kind of wore out the first quarter with trading the ball on fourth downs. But now there's definitely a lot of offense out there now.
Yeah, and they're trading punches, and we'll see here in another 12 minutes who's left standing.
That's right. Yeah, like I say, Miami Trace doesn't seem to. They're not going anywhere. They're hanging right in there.
Here's that trips formation that gave Trace so much trouble in the.
And let's see if Bailey can get around the corner, and
he got a first
probably
down.
has a first down. Yes, he probably got the first down and maybe a couple more.
That was really.
And just like that, Clinton-Massie is on the Miami Trace side of the field.
Yeah, and that was the first real sweep we've seen that they've had good success on, where they were able to move the chains. So maybe Trace is getting a little tired now and been chasing these guys to the sideline all night.
And that's one of the benefits of running that sweep play is you just make that defense pursue all the time. And like you say, it can wear them down. So let's see what Miami Trace has here. Is Massie hands the ball off to Bailey Wolf. He's got somebody around his ankles. That was maybe the only thing keeping him from busting down the field a little farther. But
yeah, and it's a 2nd and 4, which puts them in a. You like to be in those situations on offense because there's. You're so unpredictable in the 2nd and short.
Yes.
And that's where Massie could take full advantage of him here.
And Massie can throw 5 or 10 yard pass and still get in the end zone because they've got such speed at receivers.
Right. And we had dive to Chase.
Chase Wolf, and he's more than got the first down. And he's down to the 26 yard or 20, about the 27 yard line. So Massie moves the chains again.
Those last 2 plays, Lee, were some Pop Warner football, dive left and dive right.
Yeah,
and they were able to gain 6 or 7 yards in each play.
All right.
Massie's line is starting to wear Miami Trace out.
Yeah, they just got such a big, strong line, and they've ran so much tonight. And Bailey Wolf with the ball, and he's getting right close to the 20-yard line.
Another 6 or 7 yard gain.
Yeah. So they're within 2 or 3 yards of another first down.
Yep.
And this is where Massie can be very dangerous. You get them down in around the 20-yard line, gives them a lot of options.
And they're going to be patient here. They've been able to possess the ball for 2.5 minutes here right off the bat, and Trace isn't going to have a lot of time left.
Right. And you get in this situation, the clock is your enemy.
And right now it's the ally of the guys wearing the blue and red.
Yes, Clinton-Massie is in no hurry. They just running that
dive play again.
Dive play right through the middle of the line, and Chase Wolf had the ball, and he's probably got a yard or 2.
Seems like a good formula with 2,000-yard running backs. Dive right, dive left, and give it to your 1,000-yard runners.
Don't mess with success.
Exactly.
Gain of 3.5. Bring up 3rd down and short.
At the very worst, unless you lose the ball on a fumble or an interception, you're well within field goal range. You put 3 points on the board, and then Trace has got to.
Wow. Travis Grooms again, all-conference linebacker.
He was right
stepped
there.
Into the hole and made a big play, and
exactly
one that Trace needed right there.
Absolutely, they needed that stop. But Massie can kick a field goal and force Trace to have to score at least twice to get the lead or tie.
I don't know that.
What do we got here?
I think they're going to go for it.
Saying.
I was reviewing the stats this week. They do not kick a lot of field goals. They might not feel confident about doing that.
Clinton-Massie is definitely going for it here on 4th down.
And
they did not get it.
Wow.
Shades of the first quarter.
This is this is what we saw the whole first quarter with several 4th down situations.
Changing the ball on downs here. So a real victory for Miami Trace on this series.
Timeout. Official timeout. We will have a measurement.
Oh, they are going to measure it.
Yeah,
so, it just doesn't look like they made it.
No, I think the original spot of the ball and where they set it down are not the same here.
Okay.
And I think what's going to happen is I think with the respotting of it, this might now be a first down.
It could be. That would be a huge swing for Miami Trace.
Nope.
Oh, they did not make it.
And it was again by
about
the length of a playing card. Trace has got new life and a chance to bring this to a new football game.
Breathe a lot of life into that offense of Miami Trace now, as they see they are only down 7 points, and they've got a chance.
7:58 to go. We could be headed to overtime if Trace is able to take this down, but Massey's scoring ability, they get this ball back, they could go down the field like a lightning bolt and be in the end zone before you know it.
We've seen that many, many times, but see if Massey's defense can really assert themselves. They really a saving tackle there by number 22 of Clinton-Massie, as he was about to go big time there.
Isaiah Steverson, the kid that caught that touchdown pass from Massey, has maybe a game-saving touchdown or a tackle on a long run.
That kid gets through the line and he doesn't stop him, he's gone.
Yep.
And there's that backwards pass, and fumble. Looks like Clinton-Massie has got the ball. Oh my. What a turn of events for Miami Trace.
And what a place to turn the ball over.
You give the ball bad enough to turn it over, but when you turn it over deep in your own territory, that is really a killer right there. The ball will be on the Miami Trace 29-yard line. That's where Clinton-Massie will take over on that fumble recovery.
And for the most part, it's been a pretty error-free game, but
yes,
that was a real costly error by the Panthers.
We've got a Panther player down over there, may have just gotten his bell rung or the wind knocked out of him. But he's up on his feet now, and we're glad to see he's up and moving around. So hopefully nothing major there, but didn't take long for him to get up. So.
No, that was number 2, Derek Markham. It's good to see him walk off the field.
Yeah. And he's usually a key player for Trace. He's a solid football player, so glad to see he's up and all right.
Tonight's game is sponsored by the Equipment Superstore.
Well, with 7:24 to go, Massey knows what they have to do, and I would fully expect to see a lot of full T football here.
Yeah. And just when you say that, we're going deep in the end zone, and a touchdown. Wow.
Dylan Rose.
Didn't waste any time on that one.
No, and that was a great call. I didn't expect that.
No.
I expected Massey to probably try to run the clock down, but they went for the jugular vein and got it.
They got the job done. Did you see who caught the ball?
Dylan Rose.
Dylan Rose. And boy, is he some kind of receiver. He went up, tipped the ball away from the defender, and finally got a handle on it as he was falling down. And what a great reception for Clinton-Massie and Dylan Rose. Now here comes the extra point. And the extra point. Wow. That is a big score for Clinton-Massie.
Yes, it is. And now the pressure is fully on Trace's shoulders, and let's see how they respond to it.
I think Trace probably have to come out and trying to get the ball downfield and score quickly.
Going to have to. If they're going to have a chance with 7 minutes to go, you can't go on a long drive because you won't get the ball back.
Nope.
So, they're going to have to attack and attack quickly.
Strike quickly. Our football action brought to you by the Equipment Superstore. Call 877 Parts or and Route 73 Homes, route73homes.com. Call Brian at 937-725-6213. And we thank them for bringing football action. I'm with the coach, Bill Hrabak, and Lee Hendee here, and Rick Phillips is here, probably eating, but that's all right, just so he saves the rest of us some. But anyway, Clinton-Massie is ready to kick off, and we've said this time and time again tonight, but this is a key series for Miami Trace.
And they have...
Stroker was trying to run the ball back on special teams maybe, but not much there to get this series started.
Well, you can tell the importance of the game when you have your quarterback returning kicks.
Yeah, and he may be one of the quickest guys on the team.
Yeah, and when you know that if you don't win tonight, you wake up tomorrow, your season's over, you got to put your best players out there no matter what their position, because you need plays to be made.
When you've got a chance in the playoffs, you never want the season to come to an end. You want to keep playing.
Right. And, for seniors, they want to be in there every last play because for most of them, after tonight, if whoever wins this game, that'll be probably the last time a lot of them put the helmet and shoulder pads on.
Absolutely right. So we keep saying this over and over, but this is a very key series for Miami Trace. They've got to figure out some way to get the ball down and get in the end zone and get another 7 points on the board. But the clock is definitely their enemy right now.
I agree. And Stroker knows pressure. He's been there before, and let's see how he responds this time to it.
And he's had some moments tonight where he's hit some big passes and some big plays.
Yep. Dyer again.
And looked like it was going to turn into a big play, but Massey's defense just came to the ball and it stopped it on about a 2 or 3 yard gain.
Number 8, Zach Santoro on the tackle.
Yeah, I would say that Trace is going to have to go to a different tempo here if they're going to get themselves back into this, because you're going to have to get multiple plays off, score, and get an onside kick to get back into this.
Stroker is back to throw the ball. Doesn't see a whole lot. Hands the ball off late, but Massey was still holding that line, and there was just nothing there. I give the defense of Clinton-Massie a lot of credit. Nothing opened up anywhere for Miami Trace on that play.
They were spying Stroker on that, and when he took off and ran, there was a linebacker waiting there for him.
Yep. So ball is at the Miami Trace 25-yard line. They have to get to the 32 for a first down. Stroker is caught in the backfield for a big loss.
Massey was fully expecting that. When Stroker got outside, there was nothing there, and
4th down and 12.
looks like the clock is about to strike 12 on the Panthers here, unless they can come up with a big play.
They have not had any real answers in this series. And Massey has had about all the answers defensively.
I think a lot of wind went out of their sails when they turned the ball over on that previous possession.
Yeah. Stroker's got the ball deep.
Now got double coverage, and
that pass was broken up. Our guy number 22 just kind of ran in front of the receiver, and there was no way that they were going to get that ball.
There's an other unsung hero, Isaiah Steverson.
Yes.
A touchdown catch, touchdown saving tackle against Dyer, and breaks up a big pass on a 4th down situation.
Yep.
He could get a helmet sticker from us tonight, too.
Absolutely, he should. We've had 2 or 3 real good defensive and offensive plays from Josh Loud, too.
Yeah, Josh Loud and Isaiah Stuyvesant. Not your household names with the Massey crowd, but definitely contributors tonight.
They're definitely getting the job done tonight.
For sure.
54, Corey Coates on the tackle.
Wow.
And Massey will be patient
really
here.
Getting backed up here.
Yep.
Massey's really backing them up.
They'll take their time and milk the clock.
Sure.
Try to get another one on the board, and that will, for all practical purposes, seal it up.
That's exactly what most any coach would do in this situation: is take advantage of the clock and don't give them any good opportunities. Oh, and big handoff.
It's Chase Wolf.
Chase Wolf right up. Kind of off tackle there and just grinding it out.
Yeah, and not much the Panthers can do at this point. They just can sit there and, they can try to start the lawnmower and rip the ball out and hope that they get a turnover. But I'm sure that Coach McShirley's told them 2 hands on the ball at all situations here.
But you got to give Miami Trace credit tonight. They've tried to stay with Clinton-Massie much better than they did in the first go-around. So.
I would agree with you on that, Lee. Nice run by Bale.
Oh, yeah. Bailey just pounding it right up, sort of up the gut. First and goal, Clinton-Massie, and that is probably a nail right there.
Yeah, I agree. That's the that might be the last nail. 3:45 to go on
the. So tough.
And Bailey Wolf limped off the side, and let's hope that that isn't serious.
Nothing wrong there, because they're going to need him down the road.
Yeah, you got to have that.
Got to have all your horses.
Got to have all the horses, and it's nice to have that depth of 2,000-yard running backs, and then as we talked about.
He complements not only Hunter Ventress, but he complements all the other backs and receivers, because you get a couple of good receivers out there like Dylan Rose, and then you get 2 or 3 strong running backs in there. You better be ready for anything.
Right. Well, it makes you a lot more diverse, and you can attack on a lot more fronts, and
yes,
you don't want to see any of your weapons go down.
So we've got a timeout on the field. The ball is in right on the 10-yard line, and it'll be Clinton-Massie.
Bailey's walking off here.
Bailey's walking off. Good to see that. Let's hope nothing severe, nothing serious, and we hope that all is well with Bailey Wolf. And he has had some injuries this season, but he was declared okay to go tonight. So,
right.
And he has been a real weapon out there tonight.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of tough yards for him, and he's helped keep that Trace defense honest, so that they can't overplay Ventress or Chase Wolf.
All right, Ventress is back under center. We're at the 10-yard line of Miami Trace. And
I think he fumbled the ball.
Well, just when you thought Clinton-Massie was going to punch the ball in, they turn it over, but it's down within the 5-yard line. So.
Yeah, it's at the 3-yard line. You've got 97 yards to go with 3:13, and you still got to get the ball back another time.
Right. It's going to be tough just to get one score with that much time on the clock, as opposed to getting 2 scores. So you've got just, I guess, for a moral victory, if nothing else, try to get down and get some points on the board here.
Well, if you can get it on, down the field and score, then we'll obviously see an onside kick, and if you get it, you get a couple Hail Marys to the end zone, and anything can happen at that point.
But not to get ahead of herself, Trace has got to figure out how to get that first score.
Right, and the Falcons aren't going to let them just walk down the field. So
No.
At this point, Trace has still got their back firmly against the wall with down by 14 points with 3 minutes to go.
And I think one advantage that Massey may have is some of their defensive backs are taller too. So if you try to throw the ball, they're taller and can get up in the air and knock it down get a takeaway, so you've got to be careful what you call.
I think the thing, if I have a criticism of Stroker tonight, I think that a couple times when he's had kids open deep, he's waited a second too long to throw the ball, and you can't do that with teams like Massey who have the great make-up speed on the corner. You've got to hit them when they're open.
Yeah, you can't wait till the coverage gets there and then throw the ball. You've got to be there, have the ball there when the receiver's open. All right, Stroker, you are back, and oh no! Oh my! And an interception from Clinton-Massie. They are one of the most opportunistic teams I've ever seen. They're always right there around the ball.
Yeah, and if Miller catches that pass right there, that's a first down, moves the chains for the Panthers, and Karam's off his shoulder pads, and as you say, the Falcons are very opportunistic. They jumped on that, intercepted it, and we're getting close to turn out the lights time here.
Yeah. That's unfortunate for Miami Trace, as they really played hard tonight, but don't have near as much to show for it as I'm sure they expected.
Well, it's always great to see two teams from the same conference play. You always hope it's not in the first round. You like to see them meet, 2 or 3 rounds down the road, but it's great for the SCOL to have two teams in the first round of the playoffs, and Chillicothe tonight played, so it's a good representation for the league.
It certainly is, and shows a lot of strength in the league too.
It sure does. And the defending champs are going to put the grind on the Panthers now, and
they'll even if they may score, but they are just content to use as much clock as they possibly can, as they are just running the ball. Chase Wolf with the ball that time, and just maybe 3, 4, 5 yards on that play.
Yeah, and I think the big thing here is you get that fine line. You hope not to get somebody hurt in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yes.
Because you're basically trying to run out the clock, but you just don't want to pick up an injury that could cost you going into next week.
You're right, and hopefully there's nothing real major wrong with Bailey Wolf as he went out of the game, and I don't know that he's back in there. They're probably not going to take any chances.
I would agree with you. I think that's the last we've seen of Bailey tonight, and he did a great job. They ran hard, and I'm sure the trainers will start working on him tonight and then tomorrow, and try to get him healthy for next week's contest.
I'm sure, or at least hopefully he'll be fine for next Friday night. We'll have to let you know through various means when our next game will be, but we will be covering the Clinton-Massie Falcons all the way to the finals, and hopefully they'll make it that far. Looks like
Fentress
quarterback run for Fentress.
Tried to keep it off the boot, and nothing doing with the Panthers. We're all there waiting for him. I like to say that Steve Bartlett did a great job this year with the Miami Trace Panthers.
Yes.
From where they were a few weeks ago when they played Massey to where they are tonight, did a wonderful job preparing them, and even though they're going to come up a little bit short, it was an exciting game, and they have nothing to be ashamed of tonight.
And they're going to be strong competition next year, most likely, for the SCOL and whoever they will be playing. So we can expect them to be back possibly stronger than ever.
Yeah, and they're one of the traditional powers in the league, and
Sure.
And there's an expectation, and Coach Bartlett's been able to restore that at Trace, and as you say, next year they'll be one of the contenders like they always are in the SCOL.
Sure. All right, where are we at on the clock now? We should be getting
We're
down there.
at 4th and 10 with 1:36 to go here.
Wow. Ventress going to air it out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was, there was a questionable play there as far as
Pass interference.
yeah, the pass interference, but the official didn't see it that way, but there was definitely riding him down the field on that, and
If it would have come down to that play for the game, I'm sure Coach McSorley would have had a couple of words to say.
yeah, I'm sure he would have. But
it's now Miami Trace ball.
Yep, and 1:31 to go, 35-21, and now they're just
is airing it out. Oh.
And they're just playing for pride now. He was looking for number 7, Marcel Pettiford, and been one of his key targets tonight, and just didn't get it done that time.
Overthrew him, and there was a defender in the neighborhood.
Yes.
And so looks like Clinton-Massie will go on to victory and advance in the playoffs. There's Stroker is trying to get it out there. Oh, no, not again.
Yeah, that was very close, and that's Isaiah Stiver again.
Right there again. Wow.
Stiver and Loud,
I think they must have heard us talking about one or the other of them maybe being a player of the game there. We really aren't going to name a player of the game, but those two kids have been there on seemingly almost every play, one or the other of them.
They've definitely been unsung heroes tonight.
For sure.
And, when you're a championship team, you need kids like that to step up and make plays throughout the season.
Stroker is in trouble.
He escaped a lot of traffic.
But not now. He's on the ground, and he is back inside the 10-yard line. And the clock is running. And
Jimmy Stroker, that was a great effort there. He's got nothing to be ashamed with his efforts tonight.
He has tried and played his heart out tonight, but it's just not been there for him.
Yeah, we're inside 1 minute now, and it's pretty obvious that Massey's going to move on to the second round of the playoffs, and tomorrow we should know who that team will be.
Sure.
And Stroker goes down on a hard sack by...
Massey's really feeling it right now. They know what's coming.
Yep.
You'll hear this place erupt in just a few seconds when that clock runs out. They're already getting fired up, but they know they're in a playoff atmosphere here at Clinton-Massie.
I would expect the victory formation here, and
yep. Just take it home.
Genuflect, and that will be it.
And there you go. That was the victory formation, and the teams are going to go. And I know there has to be a lot of respect between these two teams because they know each other really well. They've played each other in the season, and then it came down to the playoffs, and Massey gave it everything they had, and so did Miami Trace.
Yeah, like I say, I think Trace came out with a pretty decent game plan and executed it well. As we said earlier, the first quarter, no score. First 15 minutes, no score, and then all of a sudden the offense has turned loose, and the speed of Massey just wore Trace down, but Trace showed their own speed and struck with some quick touchdowns.
Yeah, Trace, like I say, you got to give Jimmy Stroker and the team credit for a valiant effort tonight. But in the end, Clinton-Massie just, I guess, too strong. Just too many weapons out there. And it was just an outstanding game. And it wasn't a blowout, but it was a strong victory for Clinton-Massie.
Right. Massey's offensive and defensive line definitely their strength showed through, especially I think as we talked about in the later third quarter and fourth quarter. They just wore Trace down. And but again, Trace was game, and they came back, and they had opportunities.
Sure.
And that's
kind of all you ask for.
I would agree. As a coach, you can't ask for much more than that.
You just want to have opportunities to score and opportunities to win the game. And if those present themselves and you can't take advantage of them, well, you got to give the other team a little credit. But you just hope for a chance and hope for an opportunity. Before we close up, I do want to thank our sponsors, the Equipment Superstore, Progress Way in Wilmington, at Georgetown, and retail outlet in Jeffersonville. And you can call the Equipment Superstore 877 Farm Parts, or you can also call our friends at Route 73 Homes. Call my friend Brian Lawrence out there at Route 73 Homes. They're at 4629 State Route 73, and that's south toward New Vienna. Call Brian at 937-725-6213. We don't know where we will be next Friday night, but we will be somewhere with Clinton-Massie football. Coach Hrabak, your parting comments.
Well, I look forward to seeing Massie next week. Whoever they play is going to have a challenge to stop the Wolf boys and contain the defense of this team. They're solid, and even when a team does, they do give up a few points, which doesn't happen very often.
Right.
They have the offensive firepower to overcome it. So look forward to seeing them next week. And for Miami Trace, it was a game effort, and they have nothing to be ashamed of tonight.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Coach Hrabak. If you don't know Coach Hrabak, he's the coach of the East Clinton Astros, and he knows both of these teams very well, and he knows their strengths and weaknesses. He's been a great asset here tonight, and we thank him for being a part of our webcast here tonight, Coach.
Thank you, Lee. I appreciate being your guest tonight, and look forward to having other opportunities with you in the future.
Well, we hope you'll be back with us next Friday night, wherever we are.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. We don't know, but we'll know in a day or so. And okay, yeah, we want to mention tomorrow at the Rusty Keg in Washington Courthouse, we will have our special guest, Scott Strieber of the East Clinton Astros boys basketball team. He will be there live with us at 11 o'clock at the Rusty Keg in Washington Courthouse. And we want to thank you in advance for watching the webcast up there. We will have live video and audio. You'll get to see my face and Rick Phillips' face and Scott Strieber's face and maybe a nice waitress. We don't know. But I'm going to steal your microphone, Coach. And Rick Phillips, you have any parting comments?
Well, I'm glad that it was a little warmer tonight than it was the last time we were here. That's all I can say. I'm going to wear gloves next time, though, this time, Lee. Yeah. I guess we'll see you next Friday, right, Lee?
Next Friday for football action, and tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
For FaceTime.
Yes, right. All right. Well, for Coach Bill Hrabak and Rick Phillips, I'm Lee Hendee, and have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.